So, as y'all can tell by the title, we got several things that we're going to discuss this afternoon. This Sunday afternoon, we'll be discussing a couple things. I'm going to give people time to get in here as usual. And then we're going to get started, y'all.
Mike motherfucking checking his bitch. Mike check 1, 2. Let's go. Yeah. Hey, yo, Darren, just turn me up. Niggas gotta feel this out. Yeah, look. Hey, look, niggas ain't see what I saw. A brick turned to a pot full of gold. Over that, spent my daughter's first birthday locked in a hole. Plot full of gold, came back stronger. I'm in control. Soft white from my block to the stove, not in the cone. Meaning West like Stockton Malone. Gotti Capone. Niggas dressed like they copying hoes. Poppy, come on, stop it, you know you not with the smoke. I get you low. In about a year, how niggas gonna deny me the throne? Rappers y'all compare me to, niggas scared of me too. It make they heart beat faster, just hear the truth. I stick my 40 out the window while I'm staring at the coupe. We pull up to your front door if I'm here to shoot. Let's go. They say we so dope and did random actions of violence. Our neighbors in the burbs want to hand us back to the projects. They say I'm on tour while the family package the product. Everybody gon' eat and I'm standing next to the promise. Can't believe y'all when y'all talk about the guns y'all shot and all the money running to them and this crumbs y'all got. Just let me know. Come check with me when y'all want y'all shot. There's 10 shooters in my hood for A1 y'all got. Hey look, I had to dumb it down for niggas. You gotta do that. It's like bringing down the prices. You gotta move that. I was in the feds with braids under the do-rag. I'm a volunteer to do ya if it comes to that. I fuck with smart bitches in the club. I call bitches staring. All these Jews got these hoes training thoughts slipping. Brought a quarter thing back. That's a small mission in the dark kitchen. All you hear is the fork clicking in the zone. Looking through the holes of them yard fences. I'm dope. Yeah, you know the flow from the park bitches. 3 things happen when you keep your torch, nigga. Put in work, might sell it or you gon' get caught with it. Quarter brick, half a brick, whole brick. Fiends still hit me when they dope sick. Put it cook with gas for the raw. So much glass on the floor. I got my bitch kitchen looking like I'm broken. Let's go. Quarter thing, half a thing, whole thing. Daydreaming, thinking about cocaine. When a plug throw me action, I let my man quarterback it. Looked up and all that stacking got us both paid. Real niggas know. Only my real niggas know. Yeah. We ain't comfortable as y'all. No, I've been in way too many bangos and brushes with the law. My real niggas know. Only my real niggas know. Yeah, we cook with gas for the raw. So much glass on the floor. I got my bitch kitchen looking like I'm broken.
Yeah, my bricks better than theirs. Y'all better come pay dues. An extra gram jumping back for every one they lose. These niggas borrowing the guns they use. Not me, I got my own stick like I'm about to come play pool. Riding a car with bricks, that's one brave move. I never did it. That's why my bitch won't pay you. Niggas say they want gunplay cool, but they don't really want go there. It's like Sunday school. Them niggas dead on the Bible. Don't question the title. No chance for survival. They ain't checking your vitals. A fast car with a gun, try and catch up the rivals. I got a lamb and a stick like I'm fresh up the Bible. A young nigga with Mexican idols. I just left from Ohio. We met up for Cinco de Mayo. Complexion for connection. I'm melon albino. I went broke and sold wax like I'm selling a vinyl. Nigga, I know you're tight. You're not thorough. You can't come around unless you got a referral. You made a couple bucks, then you shot for your girl. Bought a bullshit watch, now you on top of the world, Got a squad of all geniuses. I've been in charge, but finding the plug just gave me more leadership. No scales for the weed and bricks, they wholesale. Only time we see scales when we cleaning fish.
Quarter brick, half a brick, whole brick. Fiends still hit me when they dope sick. Put it cook with gas for the raw. So much glass on the floor. I got my bitch kitchen looking like I'm broken. Let's go. Quarter thing, half a thing, whole thing. Daydreaming, thinking about cocaine. When a plug throw me action, I let my man quarterback it. Looked up and all that stacking got us both paid. Real niggas know. Only my real niggas know. Yeah, we ain't comfortable as y'all. No, I've been in way too many bangos and brushes with the law. My real niggas know. Only my real niggas know. Yeah, we cook with gas for the raw, so much glass on the floor. Got the kitchen looking like I broke.
Yeah, it's a shame what we did to the highway. Even worse if we made it there safe when we pulled in the driveway. 3.5 whole ones going by Friday. Now we riding back smoking, listen to Sade. Dopes up in Maryland, the coke is in SC. Yeah, we get it off the dock, the plug come on a jet ski. I hit my man up, see what's the ticket for 10. So right back Sunday night so we could flip it again. The whole town going crazy, a few slept on it. Still potent though, I only did a 2-step on it. You ain't gotta be a genius or be deeply educated. Keep the money and the drugs completely separated. We ain't doing no dumb shit, nigga. We all smart. Same sweatsuit on, underclothes from Walmart. Nah, I ain't acting crazy with the dudes. Got the diesel with the stamp that say ladies sing the blues. Got the coke coming in like they season on the new way for winning. What I look like getting even with you.
Okay.
It's an occupation.
Okay.
Jam, hit his lawyer and his fam, then we move the operation.
Okay. Now look, I said, here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to let me turn this camera on first. This is how we gonna do it. Let me see. Okay. Y'all let me know if y'all can see and hear me clearly. Let me know if y'all can see and hear me clearly. Y'all see. Okay. All right. So vibes, right? Mood, right? You know. So first and foremost, shout out to Team Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Black first, second, and third. Y'all, I'm going to be sharing the screen. We're going to start off in a place, okay? Y'all can just call this whole show. This is going to be Sunday school. Somebody said it's the earliest they see me on here. Normally, I don't come on here a Sunday afternoon like this, but I figured I would get it in with y'all for a little while. We're not going to be on here long, but I've been seeing all types of shit, and we're going to talk about it, okay? Let me share the screen. And we're going to start off with blackity black, okay? And it's going to be an open-ended question. We're going to revisit this question here in a little while as well. Now, black folk was mad, okay? As you can see the headline here, clothing site t-shirt, Palace under fire from over white boys modeling Black History Month t-shirts and hoodies. Now, y'all know how this shit works. Now, I don't know why black folk always, calling themselves getting up in arms over what white clothing companies are doing and what models they use and all this shit. If you know anything about online shopping, typically they're gonna have just this little cave. I'm sure he didn't do 2 photo shoots for this. I'm sure they just digitally put this image on his clothing, right? On this hoodie, right? My question was a little further than this. My question was about what it said and what about what I've been seeing black people say now for a little while. This blackity black. If you read the headline or the shirt title here, it says I'm black every month, but this month, y'all know how they like to pander to black people during so-called Black History Month. I'm black every month, but this month I'm blackity black. What the fuck is blackity black? Can somebody black help me out here, please? Because I've been seeing this for a while and I don't understand how you turn on blackity black as opposed to just black. I don't understand that, but I know it's a certain level of coon shit that black people be on because we like to act like this. Like sometimes extra black, super black, right? Jet black even, right? But then typically not so much. Blackity black is a special form of blackness that black people turn on and off. And particularly in February, black people are blackity black. Now, I can't necessarily be mad at the Cave Company for putting this saying out here because I see black people saying it. I've been seeing all types of posts, and particularly on the Shade Room. So on the Shade Room on Instagram, they've been hashtagging blackity black. You don't just turn on so-called blackity blackness. You don't turn that on and off. This is how I know. We've alluded to this before, that I believe Black culture is just coon culture. I mean, that's just really what it is. And this is just another branch or another, showing of such, because Black people don't exist this way all the time. Only during February, only when they're allowed to be so-called blackity black. When I believe that B123, which kind of alludes to that type of shit, that should be a permanent state of being. It should be a part of our culture. But Black people are refusing to change this culture. We just keep crying to white folk. Raising coons. They're not making us raise coons. Being self-hating every single day. They're not making us do this. It's not real. We're creating this form of oppression. White folk, the caves, his mama, they not making Black people not raise their children properly. Blackity, black. Now, again, Elaine says she thinks blackity black means coon free. That's impossible. Anybody using this terminology is a coon. So therefore, it don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, here, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go and deal with what India Arie is dealing with. Now, how many of y'all have been seeing what India Arie, her stand against Spotify? Anybody noticing that? Anybody seeing that? India Arie has made a stand against Spotify. Hold on, we're gonna go here. I don't want to really hear. I'm gonna play what India Arie has to say. It's about a 5-minute video. But as you can read, the headline here says R&B singer India Arie calls out Joe Rogan for use of racial slurs on podcasts. Now, some of y'all familiar with India Arie, y'all young folk are not. Y'all don't know nothing about brown skin, okay? Y'all know nothing about Ready for Love. Y'all don't know much about India Arie, because India Arie got ousted from the industry a long time ago, before a lot of young people even know anything about India Arie. Okay, and actually, the form of music that India Arie makes, it's not even popular now. It's not even like that now. This so-called R&B is just everybody busting it wide open. I mean, let's just be real. Like love and even having a sense of Black pride with a song like Brown Skin. That's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not necessarily the tone of music that is out here right now with your, Summer Walkers and, whoever else y'all be listening to these days. The music is not what it used to be. Okay. R&B is not what it used to be. All right. Now, India Arie has a problem. I'm going to play you her, what she had to say, what her problem is, how she feels about what's going on with Spotify right now. We're going to hear India Arie out. Now, since she made this, Joe Rogan came out and apologized, and we're going to talk about all of this. Let me get this in here. Hold on. Let me turn it up so everybody can hear it. Hold on. Let me get this on here. Hold on. This ain't right.
I want to leave a short message here about why I decided to.
No, that ain't right. I know it sounds like it's right, but it ain't. No. Okay.
Here about why I decided to.
Let me turn it up some so y'all can hear it good.
Why I decided to ask my music be pulled off of Spotify.
She wants her music pulled off Spotify.
No white people. It says, okay, take me to this one. And the guy goes, okay. I goes, is that in a good neighborhood? He's like, oh, yeah. Guy barely speaks English. He takes us there. We get out and we're giggling. Oh, we're going to see Planet of the Apes. We walk into Planet of the Apes. We walked.
Now, if you're listening, you hear Joe Rogan joking with his friends about him going to a movie theater to see Planet of the Apes. And he said he pulled up on Planet of the Apes. This is what India Arie is talking about. This is what she's talking about. Boy said he was in Africa, up in Philadelphia.
did. We walked in the door and there was no white people. It says, okay, take.
I empathize with the people who are leaving for the COVID disinformation reasons. And I think that
now we knew that first Joe Rogan, they was on his head about what he had to say, what they were saying. He was putting out COVID misinformation, which anything outside of go get the shot, go get all the shots, the CDC changing their mind about everything. If you're not with that, if you're not saying go get the shot, then everything else you say is misinformation. We understand that's the climate. That's what the climate has been made. That's actually the climate that everybody's really okay with. If you're not saying go get this shot, then you're putting out misinformation. Okay. And I don't know exactly what Joe Rogan was saying, but that's what they was on his head for about first. And then India already came back with this.
they should. I also think that Joe Rogan has the right to say what he wants to say. I also think that I have the right to say what I want to say. So as an artist who builds, Spotify is built on the back of the music streaming. So they take this money that's built from streaming and they pay this guy $100 million, but they pay us 0.003% of a penny.
Now, what she's saying about Spotify is, like we know, Black people, the music that we put out here, that's what's going to fuel Spotify to make all this bread. Okay. That's what's going to be fuel. It's going to fuel Spotify. That's what's making them all their bread. Okay. And she's saying that they's got the artists are getting 0.003% of a penny. That's what they're being paid.
Just take me off. I don't want to generate money that pays this. Just take me off. That's where I'm at. And I know that I'm actually, to be honest with you, surprised that my statements were picked up, because I thought people weren't really going to listen to me, because that's what I'm used to from the industry. But I'm glad that I am being heard, and for that reason, I want to clarify my statements. Again, this is why. Watch this.
You know, the nigger thing. Yes. Saying the word nigger. You've already said nigger. Is just like nigger. Saying nigger. She's calling you a nigger. It's like this boy that he's a nigger and starts calling them niggers. Word nigger. There should be a word like nigger, especially like the word nigger. That's our nigger. About niggers.
Now, this is her sharing a clip of Joe Rogan going ham, saying nigger on his show. This is her justification.
He says nigger, guy, a nigger. And then our niggers start saying nigger. Allowed to use the word nigger. Out the word nigger, see nigger, word nigger. Say nigger, and you couldn't say nigger. Most nigger.
So we know how social media can be. Things can be doctored. People are taken out of context. It's happened to me many times.
Yeah, I see that.
However, I want to be clear, in no uncertain terms, where I stand on this is that he shouldn't even be uttering the word. Don't even say it under any context. Don't say it. That's where I stand. It's my right to stand there. I have always stood there. I have other feelings about it, but those are nuances that are not meant for this moment. He shouldn't even be saying it. And so the confluence of energies comes into play here. So now we have this person who is offensive to a lot of people, who's paid $100 million. Spotify, the backbone of Spotify is the music. So you pay the musicians that are the backbone of your business 0.003 to 0.005% of a penny, and you take this money that you generate over here, because all the rest of it goes somewhere. The subscription fees go somewhere. So you take this money that's generated over here and you use it to invest in this guy. Do what you want, but take me off. Or pay me too. And I don't just mean me, I mean.
Now, mind you, I want you to listen to her or. Her or is huge here. Either you pay me like you pay him, and he out here offending people, saying nigger, all willy-nilly, doing whatever he got to do, but he the one getting $100 million contract. I'm getting 0.003% of a penny. So she would be okay if Spotify paid her fairly, if they paid her like they pay him. She'd be fine with it. We'll continue. She almost finished.
Us artists like me. Pay us too.
Pay a black artist.
Pay podcasters of color
Podcasters too.
So artist relations from Spotify called me yesterday, and they asked me what I want, and I've been thinking about this all night.
They called her.
I'm not going to say it all here, but what I want to say to you is something that I already knew, but I want you to know that they said it last night. Most of the streams on Spotify are black music. But we know that if you're paying attention at all, you understand the role of black music in this world.
Right. Hold on, let me pause it there. She basically said that Spotify admitted to what we already know. Okay, most of the money generated on Spotify for Spotify is due to black music. Okay, we should already know that. Black people create this music. Everybody loves it. I think at one point, hip hop had taken over all forms and all genres of music. And I just read that last year. So I'm sure it's still the same. Took over, right?
That's a deeper nuance. There's the musicians, there's the black music that is the backbone of the whole music industry. That's the backbone of Spotify too, who are historically underpaid and mistreated and all this stuff.
She's talking about black people being historically underpaid. Now, I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to wait. I'm going to let her finish.
Historical context here that makes all this matter. And then there's this guy, and you take this money and you pay this guy who says this stuff? No.
She said no.
And so it took Anil Young to open the door for someone like me, but I walked through it because I've been standing at this door for a long time. One of the hashtags I put on my post, the written one, was "What if we all leave?" And that's what I'm trying to see if we could get to happen. What if we all leave?
What if we all leave?
Then we can start having a conversation. It can go from a conversation to a negotiation. So
now, Arie, clearly, it's not really about Joe Rogan saying nigger. Now, he issued an apology, tried to explain himself and all this shit. I shrugged because, one, I didn't know he was saying nigger because I don't listen to white podcasters. Doesn't matter to me what they're saying in any type of way whatsoever. I understand that Spotify is Cave owned, Cave operated, and thus they're going to support him just like Spotify came out and said they're going to support Joe Rogan. Most of his listeners are Caves. It is what it is. Now, Arie just want to get this bread. She says historically black people have been underpaid. Now, this is true. But what black people haven't done is try to actually change this in any type of way. Now, what I notice that black people will do is complain. We'll complain. We'll bitch and we'll moan. We just did the live stream I did the other day where you have the black coach, the former black coach in the NFL from Miami Dolphins. He wanting other people to stand up with him. Arie is calling for black people to stand up with her. We know based on how black people conduct themselves, that's not going to happen. The other people who are getting, a whole lot of streams on there, they're not going to stand with her in this case. They're not going to stand with her. They didn't give a fuck. Arie has been on the outskirts of the industry now for a while. What Arie don't understand, even when people were agreeing with her in the comments and things like that, black people don't move like that. It's not a part of our culture. And I talk about black culture because of situations like this. We don't move that way. We're not going to, like what we was telling black NFL players to do a couple years back, right? Same thing we was telling black NBA players to do some years back. Now she's calling on black musicians, black artists to do the same thing. Black people, that's not a part of black culture. Black culture, a part of black culture is crying, making a copping a plea of some kind to try to make the Caves have a change of heart. That's black culture. Moving, shifting our people in big ways, that's not a part of black culture. It's just not. Now, people get mad at me for shit like that, but it is what it is. That's not a part of Black culture. It's just not. I don't know whether Arie checked the room first before she was calling on Black artists to take their music out there. I haven't heard of many other Black artists that are going to be doing it, especially your bigger artists, like say your, Lil Wayne's, Nicki's, and Drake's. Drake's, half cave or whatever, but your big artists that get all these streams, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. That's not how Black culture works. It just don't work like that. And I'm trying to explain this to Black people, but we seem to keep, not understanding, because we believe that we stand like that we move like that. But historically speaking, that's not how they move. Lightbearer says, I think Jay-Z and Beyonce are. That's because they have title, which is just Jay-Z's face and a whole bunch of caves in the background. So, I mean, if Jay-Z was to do it, I would shrug, because that's title. He's the one who made into what be Title was a spinoff, and he made his own thing with that, acting like it was a whole bunch of so-called blackity black shit going on over there. And it's not. It's a whole bunch of Asian caves and white caves. Moving as a unit like that's not a part of Black culture. Joe Rogan, what he talking about on his show, Spotify standing by him, that makes sense, because we know they stick together. I was even seeing people say that in the comments. Many white folks stick together. That's a part of cave culture. They're going to stick by him regardless. We got to look at the majority of the population in this nation. We got to be real about it. Majority of the population in this nation is caves. Now, I know y'all Black folks swear they love y'all, but they don't. Okay? They don't. And if you want an example of that, you find me, and I always challenge Black people to this. Find me a white organization that's dedicated to fighting racism. You won't find it. It's not one of their causes. Now, you fuck up a dog, there's an organization for that. You treating these trees wrong, you polluting the environment, there's organizations for that. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no organization that is out here fighting systematic racism, pushing to get you justice. It's not an organization like that the caves created and ran, owned, and nothing like that. Doesn't happen. Not saying that it's necessary, but just as an example to show you, they don't really fuck with you like that. And since there's about 340 million of them here, why would Spotify then say, well, we're going to take Joe Rogan off, even though all these caves love him, we're going to take him off? They're not going to do that. Black people will have to move as a unit to let their presence be felt. Same with the NBA, same with the NFL, same with the music industry. I mean, hell, and if you're talking about the music industry, you're dealing with where you run into Black folks Black artists signing bad contracts all the time. And I'm talking about not just yesterday, not just tomorrow. We're talking about since the beginning. Bad contracts, bad record deals, where they end up getting fucked. And y'all have heard some of these stories. Now, one thing Black people don't do is learn from these stories and do better about controlling their music. We don't do that. We did nothing about how we letting these caves control distribution. We ain't did nothing about that. We just complain and want them to treat us fair. Want them to treat us right. Not gonna happen. Arie, I kind of respect what you're doing, but it sounds like you're saying you're cool with Joe Rogan using whatever language he wants, which, I mean, that's something Black people need to be careful about too. When you out here wanting to censor what the cave's talking about, they may censor themselves, call you a nigger at the roundtable meetings. They don't need to necessarily maybe call you one on here, but what that's going to end up being is censoring you. That's going to end up censoring you. You're the one that's going to be censored. I'm the one that's going to be censored. Because now I can't tell the truth about the caves. That'll be deemed as misinformation or hate speech and bullying, just like my first channel that got taken down. I had 90K subs. They took that down. Hate speech and bullying. But they will allow themselves to say whatever the fuck they want. And we have to be careful about how we keep trying to tell these white folk what to say. I don't give a damn what Joe Rogan talking about. That boy can say nigger on every show. Wouldn't make me any type of difference. I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm not one of them type black people that a cave will get caught saying nigger. They'll fuck around, maybe lose their job, lose their position, and I'm out here just jumping for motherfucking joy. I'm not one of them type. I don't give a fuck what they say at all. Speak true to how you feel. Don't care. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. I don't give a fuck what they're saying. I would take what they're saying as truth. That's what they believe in. Just like I would want them to take what I'm saying as truth. This is what I believe in. Now, we understand that in this world of censorship, black people don't really get no protections in this world of censorship. Homosexuals, they get protection. The cave's gonna get protection. Black people don't really get no protection under this. What ends up happening is they're trying to censor us from telling the truth. That's what ends up happening. That's how it ends up happening for black people. Doesn't happen for them. And am I going to be upset because Spotify, a cave ran organization going to stand by Joe Rogan? No, that doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. Doesn't make me any type of difference whatsoever. If they do fire him, he can just start a YouTube channel. He'll probably have 5 million fucking subscribers in no time. Making YouTube money now. He apologized. Said he didn't really mean it like that. He was just saying the word. And, the whole Planet of the Apes thing, he tried to explain it, but it don't make no motherfucking sense. And I really don't give a fuck. I don't care that Spotify don't give a fuck. We have to move as a team. Arie don't know. That the black coach from the NFL, he don't know. Who is it? Kyrie? These people don't be knowing. Black people, that's not a part of our culture to move as a unit like that. And it sounds like Arie, you'd be fine as long as you was the one getting the big contract. Now, you ain't made music in a long time. So I doubt that, they're going to give you some type of huge contract. But the way you want black people to move, everybody black pull their music off Spotify. That's not how black people move. Not. What they'll end up doing is telling you to sit your ass down and shut the fuck up. Same way they did, who was it a while back? Was it Monique? Remember Monique? What you'll find is in pretty much every industry, there is a pay discrepancy being discussed typically by somebody black. That's what you're going to find. And black folk is not a part of our culture. Who gives a fuck how they get treated? Whatever, right? These artists, comedians, athletes, they're for sale at all times. Being for sale is a part of black culture. Even the regular working class black people do it every day. Dealing with racism, both covert and overt, to keep their jobs. They gotta feel like they gotta play the game to, basically on the shit they were saying about Jay-Z, the spook who sat by the door. I just gotta take this shit. I ain't got no choice. We don't stand up for ourselves like that. We do not. We don't make a big deal out of it. We feel guilty about making a big deal out of it. Now, homosexuals, the transgenders, they'll make a big deal out of anything. We've been seeing that, right? We think we say anything about racism, we feel guilty, like we making excuses. And most black people just gonna keep on going along and, well, I got no choice. So when you have working class people who deal with racism up at the job, who feel like they don't have a choice all up at the job, what they end up doing is understanding the artists, entertainers, and athletes for not standing up for themselves. So now you just got different levels of people as far as the socioeconomic class, but the mindset is the same. This is how, when I talk about the coon culture, it's the mindset. It don't change whether you a janitor or whether you Jay-Z. It's the same thing. It's the same mindset. Arie, I mean, she should have gave I think she should have gave a speech on that. She could have went in and came in and did that. Because you got to expose that mindset, because this is black culture. Cooning is black culture. Okay? It just is what it is. We don't stick together. We don't move together. That's not how we operate. Okay? And it's been proven. Countless times it's been proven. All these artists be getting fucked over, not just by Spotify, because hell, Spotify came along and said, hey, everybody else fucking these niggas over. Why should we do any different? They ain't been standing up for themselves against these record companies. I mean, some of y'all can see some of these documentaries about black artists. They be like, we went platinum and made no money. Some of y'all may be familiar with the show Unsung. It'll show you that. It'll show you black people always selling all these records and not making no damn money. We signed a bad contract. Nothing happens. They end up going broke and going to take their ass back to work, a regular job. That's been the climate. We must move together, but we don't do that. That's not a part of black culture, at least not yet. I'm hoping that I get to live to see the day where us moving like that is a part of black culture and we stand on our principles. If I'm going to be against Spotify due to it promoting, or not even promoting, but allowing racism, then it's going to be, I don't give a fuck how much money you give me. That's just what it is. I don't fuck with you. Arie saying, well, I'll fuck with you if you pay me enough to fuck with you. Black people are always for sale, even though she's making what would be a revolutionary stance. She's still saying that she's for sale at the end of the day. That's black culture. Now we're gonna move, y'all, because we're gonna move through this thing. We're gonna move through this thing quick. Let's go to the military real quick. A lot of black people are in the military. Okay. Now, the trick that America 3Ks, don't get this shit fucked up, Incorporated, the trick that they play is they'll send and set up a lot of these recruitment stations or recruitment, where they be recruiting. They'll do that in lower income black areas. Okay. This is in black schools and stuff like that, black areas. You'll have this recruiting going on at all times. It's always happening. They're always recruiting some shit because they know. Hold on, let me get some of this stuff over here. They know that they could just say, hey, I'll pay for your school. Right? I'll pay for your school and I'll give you a job. I'll give you some money. Headline reads here. Army to begin booting soldiers who refuse to comply with the shot mandate. You can't even say they might fuck around and take the whole goddamn video off. I'm gonna read a little bit of this article here. Hold on, let me get this right. It says soldiers who still refuse to comply with the mandatory shot against COVID will be forced out of the Army. As of last week, 96% of the active duty Army was fully, got all these shots, okay? 96%. So basically, because of all those who complied, that last 4% becomes collateral. Like, fuck them. That's just 4%. It's because of the 96%. I do believe in my heart that because sheep at such a high level, it makes the cause, the path of the lion more difficult, because now if 96% went on ahead and did it, now if this number was 10%, they wouldn't be talking like this. If the number was 10%, they would not be talking about kicking out 90% of the military. But because it's 96% sheep, the other 4% can get the fuck up out of there. That's the same way society works. If most of society complies, if the sheep line up, then they're going to keep going. This is why now they're pushing this shit on your kids, because they came out with the one that was for 12-year-olds, and they came out the one for the 5-year-olds. If they believe that most people will line up, most people will hear the threats made by this government. We had Joe Biden came out and he was making it a mandatory thing that if you have more than 100 employees, then you have to make those employees get this shot. Federal, if you work in the federal government, you have to get this shot. Now imagine if all the motherfuckers said, no. And not because I won't, but because you try to tell me, you try to put my livelihood at risk to make me. So fuck you. We don't move like that. People don't even think like that. People don't even think like that. I had people were asking me, because for this whole time I've been against this shit. Y'all know how I feel about all this shit. Motherfuckers gonna tell me, well, what if the company you work for, what if they try to make you get a shot? You answering your own question. I'm getting the fuck up out of there. Now I may be the only motherfucker that do it. That won't matter to the company. But that's what I'm going to do. For black folk in particular, because I told y'all, black people are always for sale. Generally speaking, we always for sale. And a part of being for sale is your hourly rate, is your salary, is your paycheck as well. A lot of us will accept fuckery because of a paycheck. And because of the caves, because they'll comply in a large enough number, you become collateral, just like here in the military. It's the same thing. Now, you got people in the middle, and then, of course, I'm reading some of the comments on this, and everybody like, well, they always making them get shots, and they've been getting the rest of them. It's the same shit they say to everybody else. Well, they've been making you get shots. They've been on you like that your whole life. But what they leave it out is the fact that they created this shot in a matter of months to a year tops. They leave that part out. They leave that part out. Well, y'all got all the rest of them. They leave out the whole part where the rest of them didn't show up in months. I don't want to be a lab rat. I'm not interested in such. Now, the military, let me tell y'all, 4%. The 4% that's saying, that ain't got it yet. Now, I don't know if this threat is going to make them do it. I wouldn't do it. In any type of way, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even be in there. There's no way black soldier fighting for America 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up incorporated. It don't even make sense. It don't compute in my mind. Okay? It don't add up. I wouldn't be in that situation regardless. But I understand how they target poor areas and then get soldiers from those areas. I do understand how they work the scheme. All right? But I wouldn't be in that situation. I wouldn't be there. Okay? And if this was the situation I was in, then I'm getting the fuck up out of there. Now, what I will tell you, military, this 4%, there is a place for you in truck driving. Now, I know in Canada, they was trying to force shots on their truck drivers or whatever. Those truck drivers standing up for themselves. You stop a whole goddamn country. Okay? But truck driving, hey, you already used to not being home for months and years at a time. You might as well come out here, get your CDLs and enroll and get that bread. And a lot of, especially because you can and will be on the road that much and you're willing to do that, you can easily make 6 figures. You can easily make 6 figures. Now, I don't know what the military is paying per year, but while you out there possibly getting shot at and raping and pillaging areas, which you will do on command, which I do find a little bit odd. Like, you'll go rape on the whole area, but the shot, that's a little bit too far. But, you know, whatever going to have you standing. You can come make 6 figures. I'm talking about 100K, 150K a year. You used to being away from home anyway. You don't have to put up with that. And I don't even think that the military even make that much money. Okay? I don't even think they make that much money. But you can come out here and get some bread in these trucks. That's real. That's real life. So this, I'm not saying you are looking at it like this, but don't think that this is the end. Like, oh, well, we going through this, so ain't nothing that can happen for us. We getting kicked out. Ain't no, I got to go work at Walmart. No, come, get CDLs. Get CDLs. Okay? I haven't heard of many companies, truck driving companies, here in America, 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up, Incorporated, is forcing shots on workers because they know. They know that ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. They'll just stop goods and services being moved. There's already a driver shortage as it is. There's already a shortage. Come get your CDLs. Don't even worry about these motherfuckers. Stand for yourself. Let them discharge you. However they going to do it. Shoot them motherfuckers to deuces. Come get your CDLs and make that bread. You can do that. Okay? You can do that. Because I saw a lot of comments, but didn't nobody say that. Okay? So understand that. Anybody in the military, if you have family in the military, let them know this. Truck companies are hiring. I haven't heard of many forcing shots on drivers. And you can make 6 figures. You can make that. And particularly if you are in the military, working with the military, you're used to being gone for months at a time. I mean, you can get super bread, more bread than I can even make, because I can't just be out months at a time. 6 figures. 6 figures. That's what you can do out here if you want to. So this is not the end. I know a lot of people be thinking, well, this job is, fucked up or whatever. It don't have to be the end. And if they do start making truck drivers do it, then I'll be the fuck up out of there too. And I'll figure out something else. Well, I'll probably come on here and be fuck with y'all a whole lot more. You'll see commercials on my videos and shit. I'll come on here and get it in. But either way, that you don't have to go for that. Just know that. Anybody who has family in the military that could be dealing with this, let them know this. There's already a shortage of drivers as it is. They're hiring like crazy. I'm talking about sign-on bonuses and all types of shit they're doing out here in these truck companies. So know that. And the fact that, like I said, this 96% is the same way that it affects us out here in the outside of the military world, because 96% are sheep. The other 4% will be governed and treated as like a one-off, like, oh, they crazy as fuck. Don't worry about them. For a while, they was talking about the so-called pandemic of the unvaccinated. Remember they was pushing that propaganda? So when most people be sheep, what they'll do is they'll treat that last percentage. They'll just not give a fuck about it. I mean, this is even coming down from the White House, the president. It was coming from them. The unvaccinated, fuck them. Get them the fuck up out of here. They ain't shit. They fucking everything up. They will start talking like that because they see that ain't a whole lot of people gonna stand up for themselves. And those people become the outliers in society. Same thing happening here. If this number was flipped, if 4% had gotten their shot and 96 didn't, they wouldn't even be talking like this. They wouldn't even be talking like this. These is facts. Let's go to Mississippi. Let's go to Mississippi real quick, because I want black people to pay attention to this trick bag. Let's go out to Mississippi. Y'all black folk, y'all know we got to stick together. Okay, we got to stick together. We going to Mississippi. That means no running off by yourself. Don't get caught off by yourself. We got to stick together. We got to walk through Mississippi, okay? Let's do this for a minute. Y'all black folks, stick together. Can't have y'all going missing and shit out of Mississippi. Headline reads, Mississippi becomes the 37th state to legalize medical marijuana. Now, I'm going to read from this article. Oh, shit, it moved up. And I want black people to understand the trick bag that is being waged against you. Against you. Now, Says here, medical marijuana for certain patients with debilitating conditions is now legal in Mississippi under the state's Republican governor signed a bill into law on Wednesday. Quoting here, says there is no doubt that there are individuals in our state who could do significantly better if they had access to medically prescribed doses of cannabis, Governor Tate Reeves wrote in a statement. There are also those who really want a recreational a recreational marijuana program that could lead to more people smoking and less people working, with all of the societal and the family ills that brings, he continued. Now, listen to the trick bag. He basically said if we make it recreational, people just be sitting around smoking all day and not working. That's what he's saying. The people he's talking about aren't the caves. It's black folk. That's what he's saying. Because you could check with Colorado, recreational there. I ain't heard of no headline come out like, well, motherfuckers in Colorado just stop working because they can smoke weed now. You ain't never heard of it. So what he had to do is already go ahead and justify, here's why I'm not going to make it recreational. Because that could lead to more people smoking and less people working. Just making shit up. Right? But what they did was, because of the black population in Mississippi, they can make it medical. Because then they control who gets the medical card. Y'all know, y'all heard black people talk about how we're treated unfairly in the the healthcare system. Black people's pain isn't looked at as real pain. Black women are dying at a 700% rate higher than the cave hoes in childbirth. So if I'm in control, I want to make it for medical. Now what I can do is give it to all my white homies. I'm going to pass out all medical cards to my white friends. I'll do a couple black folk just here and there, just so they don't suspect nothing funny, right? But I'm in control of who gets the cards now. Your back hurt, here's you one. That black woman, your back hurt? It don't really hurt. Here, take a couple of motherfucking aspirin. You'll be all right. Don't you worry about it. Y'all don't feel pain like everybody else anyway, right? Now what they've done is put themselves in a position to hand out the medical cards to whoever they want. Now, Mississippi has some black folk down here. Now, we understand here in the South, there's a lot of black folk down here. And what you'll notice is that in these states, recreational marijuana being legalized, it's going to be tougher because of the black population. I stand by this. You have that brother that's running for Congress in Louisiana. Some of y'all might have saw that where he was on there smoking it down, smoking loud right there on the video, talking about the incarceration rates in Louisiana and talking about how black men and women are being locked up for marijuana in that state. Well, that is a part of that state's funding. There is money to be made by locking you up for that teaspoon of marijuana. There's money to be made doing that. So what they did and what they refuse to do in this country is, where there's strong black populations right here in the South, you ain't hearing anything about recreational marijuana being legalized. They're making too much money locking you up for it, making a killing. Meanwhile, in other states, like we already know, it's legalized. But with the medical, I saw it was somebody black that was trying to tell me like, man, that's a big step in the right direction. No, that is just white supremacy showing you that they can do it medically, give themselves medical marijuana cards so they can smoke without getting arrested. Meanwhile, your black ass can't get in, your grandma can't either. Now, they were saying to treat PTSD, which again, I really think that's something black people can look into. The fact that if you are black in America, 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up incorporated, you should make a claim for PTSD. You ain't been to war in the Gulf, in Afghanistan, but you can just turn on anywhere. You can turn on any form of social media and you can see your family being murdered at all times. And the people that's doing the killing going home to their families. You could claim that you scared. PTSD. I got PTSD just from the environment that's been created, the racist environment that's been created in this country. Give me my card. Black people should be getting medical cards just handed to us. I got PTSD. I'm nervous. Every day I turn around, somebody black is being killed by the so-called people that's supposed to protect us. And thus, I got PTSD. I wake up in cold sweats at night. If I even see a blue light, it causes me to start shaking. Just seeing the blue light. I don't give a damn if it ain't got to be no cop car. It can be a fucking Christmas light. I just fall down and start shaking. I mean, even though it ain't got to be true. I mean, just be extra about it. Like, I'm nervous as fuck. PTSD. I'm black in America. PTSD. I think we could make the claim as a team. As a team. Now, I'm not one of the would-be popular woke people out here, so-called woke. You know, I'm not popular like that out here. Let me get this off the screen. I'm not popular like that out here, but some of y'all's woke people that y'all trust and that y'all like, this is an argument that can be made. I do believe that. This is an argument that can be made. But don't fall for the medical marijuana trick bag. Because that's all that is. It's a game that they're playing. And you're the one that it's going to cost you. Because what they're saying is, well, we're going to allow the caves to walk around smoking like they've been doing anyway. But we made it medical. We'll get a couple dollars off of it. But y'all black folk, I'm not going to give y'all a card like that. I'm not going to give you one. I don't give a damn if you got glaucoma, arthritis. I don't give a fuck what you got going on with you. You're not going to be able to get the card like that. No, we've never played the card. We've never played that card. No, in fact, I don't even believe that. I don't believe that. Says you play that PTS game too much and they will start having black folks committed into mental institutions and claiming they are unfit to work or walk free. We never played the PTS game at all. White folk play that game. We don't play any games. We ain't played no game. And I don't think I've heard of anybody with PTSD being put in a mental institution. They're typically homeless in a goddamn wheelchair saying they're veterans holding up signs. So I don't think that will happen. I mean, I ain't gonna argue against your point. I mean, whatever. I don't see that. I don't see that. They won't even give the army people that's been in the military. We just talked about the military. Risk your life for the military. Take these shots for the military, but they're not about to. Like, you'll be in a goddamn holding a sign somewhere. Veteran, hungry as hell. That's all you need to say on that bit. Veteran, hungry as hell. This is you. PTSD. Yeah. That's how they treat soldiers. And if you're a black vet, I mean, you may just get full-blown murdered like we just seen last year with that black veteran that was trying to, I think it was a traffic stop or something to that effect. And they'll murder you. I mean, it's been happening the whole time. I mean, it was no, so I don't know that the VA hospital don't give a fuck about black people with PTSD. That's just not real. I think that this is an angle that black people can work, and I stand by that. Because if you can get PTSD just from hearing and seeing people dying, that's what I'm told. If you hear an explosion and see people die, come back, and you have nightmares from that. Well, I'm seeing people die all the time if I choose to see it. I don't watch those videos and stuff, but if I choose to see that, I'm seeing people dying every day. People that ain't even doing shit, not no so-called insurgents or necessarily aggressive people. No, we just talked about yesterday. We keep they find us murdered in all types of weird ways. There still has been zero prosecution for any black person being lynched in this country. They rule all those suicides. Shamir Rice, 12 years old, toy gun, killed. Kendrick Johnson just closed that case the other day. Jim Mack, killed. So I don't even have to be in Afghanistan. My people dying every day. My people dying every day. PTSD. Again, just to make the claim, not necessarily that you really are nervous like that, but I think, I really do believe that's an angle that Black people could work. I think it's one that we could use. We just haven't utilized it. If they're going to be giving us medical, if they're going to be using the term of medical marijuana, I'll give you this for this. Because aches and pains, y'all know they say Black folk don't feel pain like that. And they don't trust that we feel pain like that, which is a problem in the healthcare system or, these doctors and hospitals and things like that. That's something we've been talking about. Black folk don't feel pain like everybody else. So then it's going to be hard for you to use that, and particularly in the South. I'm talking about in the South. Understand, I'm talking about in the South where there's a concentrated number of Black folk down here. There's a reason that the states that have legalized recreational marijuana use aren't in the South. They just aren't. Those are facts. Those are facts. You tell me. I mean, I'll look at the comments. Somebody tell me what your idea is about why they haven't legalized marijuana in any southern state. Give me your idea. I'm listening. What y'all got? I mean, what's your idea of as to why you think that is? I'm not saying everybody got to think like me. Sav Production says it's too conservative down south. Okay. Conservative. I don't know. When you say conservative, are you talking about Republican ran, basically? Don't leave out the privatized prison complex that's making millions of dollars locking Black people up for marijuana. You can't leave that off. I don't know if that's necessarily a conservative thing. That's, that's really how this country operates. That's how they make a lot of their money. So you can't leave that out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to factor that in. You got to put that somewhere as to this privatized prison complex and the amount of Black men that are in prison for marijuana, for nonviolent drug offenses. The amount of Black people that's in prisons for nonviolent drug offenses. Better Future says it could be that the majority of privatized prison complex are in the South. Why is that? I mean, you're speaking exactly, you're saying what I'm saying. Well, why is that? Exactly. I mean, it's simple, really. Like, it's simple. The largest concentration, it's easy, It's simple. Thank you, Robin. Another Robin, different Robin. Both of y'all on track. Exactly. Like, it ain't deep. It's not. I mean, we can try to make it deep. They like when we do that, but it ain't got nothing to do with conservatives or liberal. It's this right here. They want to keep locking Black people up for nonviolent drug offenses. It's an easy thing. Easy work. It ain't deep. It ain't deep. We make stuff deep sometimes, but it don't be deep. It's just racism. That's all. Systematic racism. That's really. I mean, we be going too far sometimes. It ain't deep. It works. That's why that brother, the brother that's running down in Louisiana, my hat goes off to him, but it's going to be tough. What's going on, Razi? It's going to be tough. Anybody that thus far that haven't hit the like button, please hit that like button for me if you fucking with me. You know, I appreciate y'all for doing that. Y'all know I don't come on here and tell y'all to flood my Cash App or nothing like that. But if you could just hit that like button for me. Anybody have any comments or rebuttals against anything that I've talked about thus far? Any disagreements that you may have had of anything I've said thus far? You can go ahead and leave that in there. If you feeling what I'm saying, if you understanding what I'm saying, put a B123 in the chat, please. I would appreciate you if you did that. I would appreciate you if you did that. I know sometimes I go on to these, you know, people not understanding. I think there's a very, very, you know, it's almost like we don't want to accept the fact a lot of times of the culture amongst Black people, coon culture that we engage in pretty much constantly. We don't want to deal with that. I appreciate y'all just putting that into in my chat. I appreciate y'all. Y'all hit that like button too for me. It's almost like we want to belittle this very severe issue that we don't be looking at stuff. We don't be looking at it. I had people, I mean, even with the Mississippi medical marijuana thing, Black folk was in there hype. Like, you not get, and I don't give you no card like that. That's for them to keep smoking. Them to keep being high. And of course, we can't do it recreationally because, you know, motherfuckers will be smoking and they won't want to work. Where? Like, where is that happening at for them to say some shit like that? But they can say anything. Right? They can say anything. It's a whole lot of coon shit going on out here amongst our people. And I told y'all, I'm being here calling it out. I know it's not a popular job, but I'm going to do the work and make sure that we're not falling for the trick bag. I even had some motherfuckers earlier today. They got mad about this shirt I had on, the Black folk. Because there's a church right around the corner, you know, of course, right? It was just like they ain't never seen, like, did that nigga just, my God, my Jesus. That's my Jesus. Fuck that nigga. Like, okay. I ain't saying they said that, but I mean that's the vibe, you know what I'm saying? It's just tough. It's tough. It's real tough out here, man. But we gotta recognize this shit because I think we kind of look over it. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want to acknowledge that this is our culture. I feel, I mean, in India Arie's case, I mean, what the fuck you mean? If they pay you, you'll be cool. That's what's wrong with us now. Because that's what we believe in. If they pay me, I'll be cool. Not saying you should give a fuck about Joe Rogan. I don't know nobody Black that watches Joe Rogan's podcast. I don't know. But the caves love it. Of course they love it. Of course they don't have an issue with that. They don't love y'all as much as y'all think they do. Y'all want them to. Y'all trying to force them to pretty much every day. But it ain't like that. This is why you can't come up with a white organization that's dedicated to fighting against racism, but you can find one that's dedicated to making sure dogs don't get abused. There's something to that. I mean, you can call me crazy, but there's something to it. You see what I'm saying? There's something to that. And we got to be mindful about that. And again, our military brothers and sisters, hey, come jump in these trucks. Fuck them. You don't want to do that shit? Fuck them. Come jump in these trucks. There's money to be made out here in these trucks. But we always for sale, though. And we got to be mindful about that. Like, everybody knows we don't move as a unit in any type of way. Somebody, we still got the so-called blackity black shit going on. Like, we a joke. We make ourselves into a caricature. Like, I even saw a post on the Coon Room, known as the Shade Room. They put something blackity black. You gonna lose your black card if this is how they were celebrating Black History Month. So they showed I think it was a crock pot. It was Goddamn. They even showed a black woman with a doobie wrap. Like, this is black culture. If you don't know what this is, like, we make a caricature of ourselves. Did your mama whoop your ass when you was young? Mine did too. Oh, we black. Like, what? You turn yourself into a fucking caricature in front of everybody. You kick key and you laugh about it, but then you want to be taken seriously as well. It doesn't make any sense. My mama sure did whoop my ass. We had to be in for the street lights came on. Blackity black black. It's like, what the fuck are you niggas talking about? What are you talking about? Your mama used grocery bags for trash cans? Mm-hmm. Mine too. Blackity black black. You got that stained Tupperware in your cabinet too? Mm-hmm. Blackity black black. It's like, and y'all, this is y'all telling them this is black culture. You growing up in the ghetto or some shit like that, that's black culture. That's what you keep telling people. That's what blackity black black is. Y'all turn black culture into a fucking joke, into a shame, a doobie wrap. This woman had full-blown permed or relaxed. It's called a relaxer technically. White hoes, the ones that really get perms. A lot of people don't know that, honestly, even in the terminology. The white hoes get the perms. The cave hoes get the perms. Supposed to add some type of curl to their shit. Black folk getting relaxers. And a lot of times we kind of use those words interchangeably, but technically, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? My mom, cosmetology school, I remember this shit because I used to help her. I used to help her study and shit for that back when I was in high school. But that's the technical term. So we have a black woman with relaxer in her hair, doobie wrapped up. That's black culture. Her hair ain't even her getting that relaxer. That ain't how our hair grows out of our head. Therefore, how can a relaxer be a part of black culture? Straight hair? That's how I know. That's how I know. Just what lets me know. Like, I clearly, I don't see stuff like other people. It don't make no sense. How is that black culture? A doobie. With a relaxer in your shit. Black culture. That's what y'all saying. That's how y'all celebrating Black History Month, right? Blackity black black, right? And we supposed to be taken seriously. We have to be mindful of that. When we make our culture a caricature and then wonder how we can be copied so easily, how our culture can be, vultured, essentially is what y'all say. That's why. Look what you make it. It ain't got nothing to do with Black pride. And until it has something to do with Black pride, we don't have a culture, in my opinion. Everybody else, their cultures are built on pride, whether it be white pride, whether it be so-called Hispanic pride, whether it be so-called Cuban pride. There is no pride on our shit, no pride laced in our shit. Nothing there. It's just stuff. You got a whooping, I got a whooping. That's black. You see what I'm saying? I had a motherfucker tell me even black people shouting in church on Sunday, speaking in tongues. That's black. Shouting around church, running around, passing out, fainting and shit. That's black. Black culture. So we have to look at the things that we say are black culture, is black culture, and be mindful of what we're saying it is, instead of laughing and joking about the shit, because to me, it's not funny. It's not funny to me. We out here cooning like this, worshiping this dude. He ain't saying nothing about no black pride in that Bible. So black pride is not infused into our culture early. Then you come and you have Arie, for example. You have the brother from the NFL. You got the brothers in the NBA. Ain't nobody gonna move like that. because that's not a part of our culture. Black pride, standing up for yourself against racism. No, you're supposed to be able to be bought off, paid off. That's Black culture. That's Black culture. Dancing, Black culture. That's what y'all say. And we got to be mindful of what we say. Okay? Does that make sense? I mean, I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? I know people don't be wanting to fuck with me, but does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, that's not Black culture. We don't have a culture to even build any culture on. We don't have nothing to build a culture on. You build culture on pride first. That's the first level of any culture, is pride. We ain't did that part yet. We refuse to do that part. As a matter of fact, it's inconvenient for us to do that part, because that would require some sacrifices at first. It requires some sacrifices. But I do believe if that became the norm, if that became just what we are as a people, it wouldn't feel like a sacrifice, because that would just be what we did. That would just be what we did. Whoopi, she wouldn't have. I mean, part of Black culture is telling the truth about the caves. That's just what we do. You know, and it is what it is. It's part of Black culture. Part of Black culture is not laying in the caves. You see what I'm saying? It's not laying in the caves. And our spokesman, anybody speaking for us, cannot be living like that. I.e. Kanye West. Our culture is a whole lot of coon shit if you really look at it. It just is what it is. It's sad, but it is what it is. Because I'm telling you what Black people done did. There's a nuance now about securing a bag. You know what I'm saying? And we're acting like that's a new thing for Black people, securing a bag. We've been like that. We've been for sale for so long. That's, I mean, to me, being for sale is a part of this, that Black culture that exists. It's a part of that. Securing a bag ain't new. Niggas chasing down money ain't new. That's not a new thing. That's not a new idea. We've been like that. Now, y'all using different terminology where, you know, you're using Bitcoin, NFTs, and invest, and you using different words. But when it comes down to it, it's the same thing. That's what we've been doing. That's how it's been. Been for sale. Because that is a part of our culture. Get that money so you can hurry up and get out the hood, or whatever the situation is. That's a part of Black culture. You didn't heard that more than you heard anything about Black pride. I'm going to get this money and get as far away from these niggas as possible. Black culture. Sad. But that's Black culture. I've heard that more than I heard anything else. That's everywhere. Everywhere, selling out is an understood part of our culture. Well, they had to get that money, right? That's how we justify selling out. It's a part of our culture. If that makes sense. Hold on. Ibarra O says perms, which relaxers. We just had a lesson about this. Relaxers, wigs, weave disconnect us to the inverse. I would argue that so does Gucci, Prada, J's. Everything does then. If that does, then as well, there is the materialism that is part of Black culture that we cannot just ignore. I mean, looking good is a part of Black culture. No matter. Prada them, Gucci them, all these motherfuckers. I honestly believe we'd be fine if we just had pride built on it. There's no pride built on this shit. There's nothing. I mean, there's just nothing there. There's nothing there. And until we put something right there, it's gonna be fucked up out here. The whole time it's gonna be fucked up. The whole time. And it's sad, but that's the truth. Because we are for sale at all times, and we want to look good on our way to the job to Coon, on our way to play basketball in Coon, on our way to play football in Coon. We're on our way to do everything we do Cooning. Mm-hmm. And complain. I mean, we'll complain, of course, but we're on our way to do everything Cooning. Everything. Good point, Pierre. Buying diamonds from people who do not support B123, yet we do not do business with the ones mining the diamonds. These is facts. I'm not laughing at that. I've seen what my black yard said, but these are facts. We know how they get the diamonds and stuff like that, and how the diamonds become so important to us. Such a status symbol to us. I got these diamonds. I'm better than the rest of you niggas. Because being better than niggas, other niggas, shining on niggas, stunting on niggas, that's a part of black culture. Why? Y'all done heard that before, right? I'm going to stunt on these niggas. I done heard that more times in the black community than I heard anything about pride. You see what I'm saying? Is that making sense? Like stunting on niggas, flossing on niggas, all that shit. I've heard all of that more than I've heard anything about black pride, because that's what we care about. That's a part of black culture. I'm gonna kill these niggas tonight. Boy, I'm fresh than a motherfucker. Boy, I'm gonna kill these niggas. They ain't gonna be ready for this shit, boy. It's a part of black culture. Sad. Because we do pass that down. It gets passed down, don't it? That part gets passed down. No pride, nowhere. D Nice says, how can we have pride if we're colorists? People say that's not a big issue, though. But see, the thing is, you're not born a colorist. You don't show up like that. I promise you, you didn't come out of the womb like that. Where do you get that from? Where do you get that from? It's a whole lot of coon shit, ain't it? Where do you get that from? That's the thing. I mean, that's the challenge. Where do you get that stuff from? Or is it being framed to you in your household? Pierre says indoctrination is where we get all that from. I disagree. This is where we like to, this is one of those situations where we blaming the white man and his mama, and no, it ain't them. It's us. It's us. It's our communities. We talking about children here. It's us. So we got to deal with that. Indoctrination is not to blame. It's us as parents. And if you ask black people where most of their situations come from, most of these problems start, they will talk about indoctrination. We never talk about the parenting. It's us. It's our communities, our areas. Black folk don't call your hair nappy. They're going to treat light-skinned people like they're better than, unless, it's a light-skinned man, in which case they're looked at as weak, docile, That's us. I never saw no TV that said that. I got that from us. So we got to deal with that. Like, we can't keep ignoring that our kids are coming up in this with this mindset, and we're gonna keep saying, well, it's the white man and they the ones that's doing all this and putting this. It's us. And until we deal with that, we're gonna be here for a while. Because don't nobody want to admit to raising their kids to being coons. And if this one person stopped the cooning at their house, this person stopped the cooning at their house, this person stopped the cooning at their house, for long, you got a community that's not cooning. And then we're not doing it like that. We're teaching our children that black comes in different shades, different hues. That's how amazing we are. And one is not better than the other. That's the work we do. Especially if you got kids, lighter children versus darker children. I done heard darker skinned children, or they're adults, that will tell me as children, their parents treated the lighter one better. So it's like, white folk, I ain't hear nothing about no white folk. That was their parents doing that. That was their parents. But don't nobody want to call their mom and daddy no damn coon. Yeah, y'all know I don't got no problem. Like, it just is what it is. It's not an insult. It's an observation. It is what it is. We out here cooning. It's not an insult to tell somebody that they fat. It is nowadays in this society, of course, but it's not an insult. That's an observation. Like, motherfucker, you put on 70. You good? Like, you all right? Do you see the 70? Is it a game? It's not about the insult part. It's acknowledgement. Thus, if you don't know you big, how you know that you're supposed to get your ass in the gym? If you don't know you cooning, how you supposed to ever be able to redirect that, change that? You can't do it. You can't do it. We can't acknowledge that we be out here cooning. Nobody wants to deal with that. I'm told that it's some fucked up shit that I be on. But that's what's happening out here. You see. That's what I notice out here. That's what I notice. And we have to be mindful of that. We cannot keep saying it's the white man and his mama's fault that our kids are coons. That's like them blaming us for their kids being racist. No, they teaching them racism. No, we always say that. Or they teaching them that. No, we know we ain't doing. I mean, I ain't doing nothing to them. But they show up racist as fuck. That's where they got it from. At home. Same place our kids get cooning from. We just don't want to deal with these facts. We want to keep denying the facts. Black people don't know how to recognize propaganda. Don't even know how to recognize racism, really. Unless somebody's blatantly calling them a nigger. That's the only thing we taught to recognize. If somebody call you a nigger, punch them. That's all we get. That's the lesson. That's all we give our kids. That's it. That's all. That's all racism is. Somebody call you a nigger, fight them. That's if you get that. You know, it's if you get that. But that's what you're going to get. That's all you're going to get. Because we don't even frame racism to our children. Black children that we say we love, we don't even frame the world for them. They're out here cooning. Don't know how to deal with propaganda, trust in the government. How the fuck you raising a black child to trust the government? How? How is that possible? But it's happening. Trust the government. Trust the CDC. Trusting them. That they have their best and well wishes at heart. Like they just trusting them. These are grown folk. Where they get that from? Where are they getting it from? We have to be mindful of that, man. And we got to raise our children better. We don't have a choice. We don't have a choice if we want to see this change. I'll say that. We don't have a choice if we want to see this change. Now, a lot of people are comfortable with things the way that they are. That's fine. Teach your kid individualism because that's a part of Black culture. Me and mine straight. Right? How many times y'all done heard that? Anybody else but me? I've heard that more than I heard anything about Black Pride, or anything like that. Me and mine's good. That's a part of Black culture. You and yours good. And that's all that matters. We straight. Individuality, individualism, holding us back. Where do you break that curse? At home, in your children. But if you don't recognize that as an issue, again, cooning isn't a generational curse that Black people are interested in breaking at all. We have no interest in pulling back from that generational curse. No interest whatsoever. You see? When we talk about generational curses, we don't even talk about this, because then parents will have to admit what they are. And we don't want to do that. Every parent wants to feel like they're doing the best job in the world for their kid. And typically parenting, and because parenting, if you kept them alive and clothed them and fed them and everything, you did your job. But you a Black parent. Your job goes beyond that. Not because you want it to. It just does. That's the world you were born into. And thus, you're going to have to do a little more work. As these kids are teaching their children to hate the fuck out of yours for no reason, you need to teach your children to love themselves first, stand up for themselves, recognize propaganda, recognize when they being played. Because, hell, Democrats out here still don't know they being played with. Didn't Joe Biden just get his money to the motherfucking cops? Isn't that what he did? Was it $200 million? To fight crime? Who the fuck? Every time they say fight crime, they talking about fighting you, oppressing you. Do your kids know that? No, because there's grown people out here that have to argue with about this shit. So they're not being taught it. When they say fight crime, they talking about you, oppressing you. That's your Democrat, right? The motherfucker you voted for, that was your uncle for a while. Y'all was putting gold chains on him, grills in his mouth. Remember that? Because a part of Black culture, too, is also playing. We love to play, don't we? We love to play, right? This motherfucker is signing, or I've seen him propose the bill to give $200 million to the cops. To fight crime better. So that's you. Now, if you ain't been taught that that's you, you're going to think they talking about real crime. Oh, they're going to go out here and find some rapists and murderers. And no. They'll be finding you with a quarter, a teaspoon of weed on you and coming to lock your ass up. To make sure that you stay the majority population in these prisons. Yeah. That's what that's about. But if you don't know it, you don't know what's going on. You thinking they doing that for the betterment of you. And then you got these niggas running around thinking it's for the betterment of them, and we got to argue with them, don't we? Well, I don't argue much no more. I speak my facts, and if you don't fuck with it, it is what it is. I may do a couple of, almost like you playing ping pong or tennis. I go back and forth with you a couple times, but I'm not about to tire myself out doing the whole set with your motherfucking ass. I'm over that. I used to do that. I'm over that. I won't do it. Because the reality is showing. I don't have to go. We're not having to go all the way back to the 1800s, 1900s. We ain't got to go back. It's happening right here in front of your face. The Democratic president that you voted for, that you loved, is giving the cops $200 million to fight crime better. If you don't see that that's against you, then there ain't too much banter I need to have with you. Because your parents failed the fuck out of you. And I understand that a lot of Black people's parents failed them. I get that. Mine failed me. I get that. I just came into mine and then said, I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. We're going to do it like this. I'm going to do it like this. And I'm growing every day. You see. I'm growing every day. So, this is what I'm talking about. They got all this money. Pierre said Biden just gave Afghans $300 million recently. They got all this money for everybody but you. They got all this money for everybody but you. And then y'all saw that what happened recently. Black folk spent like $1.7 trillion, or the money that black folk have in America went up to $1.7 trillion or some shit like that, but wealth went down 14%. Y'all saw that? That's okay. So black folk making a little bit more money now. The wealth gap is still staying as wide as it is, because even though we did that much more bread, got that much more bread as a people, the wealth went down 14%. Well, what happened? What happened? Coons made money. That's really all it is. Coons made him some money and went out here and bought him some shit. But if that's how you raise, you don't know you cooning. You think you stunting. You just want to stunt on niggas, right? That's all you got coming up. I just want to stunt on niggas. That's all. That's it. I don't want to do nothing else. I just want to stunt on niggas. So now the wealth goes down another 14%. Now, I do believe that numbers can be skewed. I do believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly numbers can be skewed. And I don't know who all they counting as black. I don't know who all they counting. I don't know how they marking people. I don't know any of that. But this is what the report said. Now, I saw somebody use this as a justification as to see, this is why I told y'all black people don't deserve reparations. We don't know what to do with our money. You got black folk doing that. And I see that all the time. Black people will argue against reparations for themselves based on what dumb niggas is doing with their money. We see that all the time. To me, that's that woke level coon shit. To acknowledge the fact that reparations should be given to black people, but you don't know what to do with them, and thus they're justified in not giving them to you. You see what I'm saying? That's that woke coon shit. You don't know what to do with it. Y'all ain't spending y'all money right, so they don't want to give them to y'all based on that. When we know in reality, we know that if they believed that we gonna get the money right back, they'd have been gave us reparations. We know that. I mean, I won't say we know that. I'll say you can infer that based on the reality. If they thought we was gonna just all give it back to them, they'd have been gave it to us just to shut us the fuck up. Well, let's get these niggas this money. I'm tired of hearing them fucking talk about reparations. Let me just give it to them. I know they're gonna give it right back. They know that everybody don't get that shit back. And don't take that many motherfucking people to come together, put their money together, and do something big. What was the population of Black Wall Street? Anybody know? I don't know right off the top of my head. I don't know what the population of Black Wall Street was. In particular, I'm talking about the one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What was the population there? It wasn't 50 million. I know that. It wasn't even 1 million. I know that. Wasn't 500,000. Wasn't 50,000. I know that. So what they know is that with a little bit of us working together, we can do some shit. We can do some shit. I think they know that. That I infer that they know that. It don't take a whole lot. And they know that all 50 million of us would not go out here and trick off our motherfucking reparations. They know that shit. They know it. And I don't give a damn how many motherfuckers come try to present this argument that black people won't know what to do with their money. But they use this article to show that black people went down to 14% in wealth and said, well, here's why. Again, this is another justification as to why black people ain't ready for reparations. Y'all, I don't fuck with that. I don't need nobody speaking for me. The government knows that it don't take 50 million of us. I wouldn't give a damn if 49 million black people went and tricked off their motherfucking I don't give a fuck. They know. It don't take a lot of us. And that one city, not just that one city though, we had several across this nation, but they know, they understood. That's why they bonded. They know what the fuck going on. Okay, ominous hit me. Ron hit me with the facts. What's up, Ron? Young brother Ron in the building says the population of Black Wall Street in that time was somewhere around 10,000. You right on the nail, right? That's what I'm saying. They know with that small 10,000 now. I mean, talking about millions. I wouldn't give a fuck. Y'all niggas, wigs, Jordans, gold chains, rims. They don't believe we all gonna do that, and they know all it takes is a small number of us, and they know we can make some shit hot. They know that. That's why they ain't gave us no damn reparations. Not even just to shut you niggas up. They won't give them to you because they know that. Now you got these woke niggas, these woke coon niggas that will sit here and argue against themselves. Even though reparation is an idea, this is conscious material. This is a conscious intellectual property. It's to say, well, y'all black folk don't know what to do with your money anyway, so reparations won't even matter. The government don't believe that, nigga, or that it gave them to you already. I believe that. I believe that. So then why do we listen to people have conversations that say black people don't know what to do with their reparations, and we be like, hell yeah, these niggas dumb. That's the type of behavior we conduct ourselves in. Because coon shit is even woke shit now. Like celebrity worship and this type of shit right here, this is woke shit. Still, it's woke shit going on out here. So we got to understand that. And the thing is that these woke people, I'm sitting here putting this shit, I've been saying this shit for a minute. I don't believe that they believe we're going to get the money right back or they've been gave it to us based on just deductive reasoning. That's my basis of it. That's just based on deduction. So why haven't more of these so-called woke people deducted or deduced the same thing that I'm seeing? I don't care how many niggas go buy wigs. I'm not going to shame them niggas because I don't care. I'm not going to shame the gold chain niggas because I don't care. I know there can be, just like on Black Wall Street, at least 10,000 black people. And I would argue even more than that will not go out here and act like that. And them motherfuckers is scared of that. I will contend to that. I don't give a damn what nobody say. I will contend to that. They know it don't take but a little bit. But you got black folk that will argue against reparations based on niggas being dumb, just to prove their point that black people don't spend their money right and don't practice group economics. Just to make that point, they'll shit on the whole team. I refuse. I will never do no shit like that. That's coon shit to me. I'm not going to be judged by, and y'all know I say 99% of black people is coons. You think I'm going to be judged by what them 99% of coon niggas is doing? No, I'm not going to be judged by that. I'm going to create and separate myself from them. So even if it's 1% of black people will take their reparations, whatever that a form of cash that will be, and put that together and do something, they worried about that. Because they got these rich niggas. The rich niggas don't count. They're not worried about them. Because the conversations that we be having, there's enough rich black people that could have came together, put their money together, and did whatever the fuck they was going to do already. They know, the society knows, the cave society, the cave government knows they ain't got to worry about rich niggas. They got to worry about us. They know that. They know it. I believe they know it too. They ain't got to worry about the motherfucker got $1 billion, billionaire Jay-Z, billionaire Kanye. They ain't got to worry about them. They gonna play. They gonna talk that talk sometime. Like, yeah, chess not checkers. I'm just sitting there, we got a seat at the table now. No. They're not worried about them. They worried about us. They worried about us. I believe that in my heart. Because these black motherfuckers could have been. These black rich motherfuckers could have been. Did some shit like that. They're not going to do it, though. So they're not worried about them. Even with the reparations, they're not worried about the wigs and the nails and the shoes and Gucci belts and Pradas, and they're not worried about none of the niggas gonna act like that. They worried about the few. That's who they're concerned with. That's what they're worried about, and they always worried about the few. Which is why they always, even though, and then we talk about this, right? The Black Panther Party was how many members? 5,000 to 8,000 at the height of the Black Panther Party. They was worried about them few. They always worried about the few. The majority of these motherfucking coons, they ain't worried about them. So what they did was COINTELPRO, these 5,000 black folk out here standing up for each other, standing up with each other. We got to take them out. That's 5,000 out of millions. The few. And I feel like the same thing about reparations. I believe that shit in my. Now, of course, the cave ain't gonna come out and say it. The cave can come out with other excuses. Oh, we ain't got the money. Or they say all types of other stupid ass shit. But I do believe that it's based on what the few would do. And that's what they're scared of. That's what they're scared of, y'all. Am I making sense? Like, I wasn't looking at the comments. Ron, you wild. Talking about the Israelites, talking about the 144,000. That's heavy, though. And them Israelite niggas, I mean, these niggas just, I guess I don't fully understand how they get respect. By calling themselves cursed. I don't get why y'all respect that. You cursed with the coon that was programmed into you by your parents. You cursed with that. But cursed by God, yeah. I don't see that. So I don't see how they get respect. And then that's outside of the Power Ranger outfits they be wearing and the yelling they be doing. And if they can get one white person to kiss their shoes, look at me, this white motherfucker, Esau kissing, licking my motherfucking shoes, nigga. Like, nigga, I'm on top of the world, nigga. I got Esau kissing my shoes. That's how I be feeling when I see shit. see, nigga. These motherfuckers, they out of control, yo. We still, number one in the privatized prison complex. They still locking us up for nonviolent drug offenses. We still face all crime out here. But I got this cave to lick my shoe, though, nigga. Like this is prophecy, nigga. Like, brother, calm down. Like, it's just it's okay. Just calm down, man. I can't deal with the motherfuckers. Like, nigga, calm down. Like, we losing, nigga. Like, we're losing because of coon shit. And you are a branch, you are an extension of us, of said coon shit. So, like, calm down. I'm not worried about you. Like, boy. Oh, yeah. Better Future. No, I didn't get demonetized. I never monetized this channel. I demonetized myself. Because what they do anyway with my stuff is they'll always say it's not advertiser friendly anyway because of the profanity I use, because of some of my terminology, because of the music I play. So I don't even do that. If you want to make a donation or anything to me, just do it on Patreon. If you feel inclined to do so, or Cashapp or some shit like that. But the super chatting thing, that will, I won't open my channel up to that until it would have to be something fucked up happen out here with these trucks or something like that. And I'll come back and I may have to talk a little different or something like that. But I do this shit right here with y'all. Or you can order a t-shirt. Black History Month, right? Hold on, let me show y'all something. Let me get that out there. Or order your t-shirt. You can just do that. Like, I do this shit out of my heart. This is my therapy. Coming to try to get as many black people as I can to see the cool shit they be on and get them to stop doing it, to make it to where it's not as popular, to where it's not funny. I do that. It's from here. It's the heart. So it ain't even, it just is what it is. But it is Black History Month. And if you want some shirts that really represent, not no shirt to say no blackity black shit, that fuckery. You want some real shit, just go. I got 2 websites you can go to order t-shirts from. You can just do that. You can just do that. This is from the heart. This is from the heart. But it's but I do believe though this coon culture that we have, and I'm going to be alluding to this a lot. It makes us look at things the wrong way. I'm going to be talking about that a lot because that's going to be the crux. Everybody that does this type of shit, they got their own lane, but mine is to expose coon culture and convince black people to build black culture on black pride. To me, that's my goals. Again, I'm not about to come tell y'all I'm building a school or doing any. I'm not about to tell y'all any of that. Here's my mission right here. And I want that to be understood. I know some black people don't understand. They think I'm on here just to call black people coons and to me it's some type of joke or some shit like this. Something I'm just calling people like, no. This is a diagnosis of the black mentality. And I can trace it back for you. I can trace it back with you and show you how we got here. And now it's time to fix it. It's time to correct that behavior. Time to correct that mentality, rather, because it does control our behavior and it controls our understanding of the world that's around us, if that makes any sense. That's what I'm doing here. I ain't about to lie to y'all or play with y'all or no shit like that. I'm here to change the coon culture. It is what it is. B123. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. So, you know, and I'm here to, if I can show you that you on some coon shit, then maybe you'll see it within yourself and you'll teach somebody else to, you know, get themselves up out of that coon shit. Now we could possibly be changing black culture into being more than what it is now. It's too, a lot of the stuff I see us doing on some coon shit is normalized. Like black men and women fighting online. We talk about that often, right? That's a part of black culture now. It's expected. It's expected to be sitting around fighting and shit like that. Mad love. Mad love to you. Whoa. Okay. So, Lips and Froze says, I support Joe. Okay. Says that she can explain, though, is what she says. She supports Joe Biden, which is by extension, you support America. 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up incorporated. So understand, you're not supporting Joe, you're supporting America. So as long as you understand that first, then I mean, please explain. Oh, wait. Let me hear it. What you got? Why do you support America? And this is now, if you say you support Joe, you also support his past. You also support the crime bill. You also support him being racist. We've heard snippets of him being racist in the past. That means you support his career. Okay? You support his career. You also support him trying to force you to get a shot. You also support him lying about canceling student debt. You also support him funding the cops. 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up. Which, I mean, I guess, you know, he is a part of the privatized prison complex machine that is getting rich off such. But you support all of that. I don't know what it's like to support a I do. Oh, you want a link? Okay, hold on. Oh, you said you support Joe Rogan. Okay. All these racist Joes start sounding alike. So let me go back then. Let me go back. I'll go back. You're saying you support Joe Rogan. When you said Joe, I didn't know what you were talking about. Okay, let me clarify that. My confusion. It's too many racist motherfuckers named Joe. I can't keep up sometimes. I thought you were talking about the president. Joe Rogan is a non-factor to me. Supporting him or not, what does that matter? I didn't know you were talking about Joe Rogan. You can support Joe Rogan. That's fine. That just lets me know you're not B123. He's a cave. So supporting caves when there's plenty of black people to support out here does not make sense to me. For me personally, you know, I wouldn't do that. He don't need your support. Like, I guess I would want to know what make you think your support is relevant to a Joe Rogan. Hold on, she want the link. Okay, hold on. Let me do this. She want the motherfucking link. She trying to come up here. Hold on. Let me fix that. Let me get this off here. All right. I'll do this. Let's hear this. Even though I don't, you know, fully care about supporting people can support Joe Rogan, but if you want to explain yourself about what I'm gonna do is put the link here, and then you can come on here and God damn it, I hate that. It's doing it for my video channel, even though I put the link in there. So if y'all see that, I put the link in there. If you want to click on the link and come up here and express your support for Joe Rogan. I mean, okay. Cool. The link is there. It's there for you. Did y'all see it? Did it get in there? Let me know if anybody's seeing that the link I just put in there. And if I didn't do it properly, y'all let me know that too. It posted from Team Rob Videos. It's posted from my video channel, but I don't even see the comment in there. So let me make sure I did it right. Okay, hold on. Damn it, I thought I put it in there. Okay. Let me go back. We'll do it again. I'll try like to spam that bitch in there or something. I'll just spam it in there. Put in that bitch like 3 times. Y'all say y'all not seeing the link? What the fuck? Why is it not? It's showing me it's posting a link, but it's not. Oh, let me refresh this. Let me see. Maybe I'll try to refresh it. Maybe that'll do something. Let me see. No, the link ain't going in there. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm mad. Let me try. What about this? What about this? Hold on. It's still not going in there. Nope. Hold on. Be patient, goddammit, because I wasn't ready. Let me see. Fuck. Send me your okay, Lips and Froze. Try to send me your email address. I'll try to email it to you real quick. Let's try that real quick. I don't want to just give up on you. Send me your email. Put your email address in the comments and let me see. I'll email it to you. That's what I'll do. I don't know why it's not working, but we ain't gonna worry about it. What we're gonna do is, what I'll do is I'll try to email it to you. Just send me your email address and I'll email it to you. Quickly though. Not on here, dudes are troll. Okay, I'll send you my email address. Okay. Dudes are trolls. And will it even let me put my email address in there? Motherfucker. This shit being trash, yo. Hold on, let me take that shit off there real quick. It won't. Every comment I make, it won't even put it in the fucking chat. Let me see. You see that? Okay, that's okay. Watch this. Watch this. Let me try this. Then. Let me try this. I done got hype real quick. Okay. What if I do it like this? Let's try this then. I'll put it in here like this. Boom. How about now? That's the link right there. Let's go. What it was doing was I was trying to go to YouTube and do it, but YouTube wouldn't let me do it. So there's the link right there. I've done my works. You want to come now, to be clear, she wants to come explain why she supports Joe Rogan. So we're going to give her the space to do so, even though I don't have an issue with supporting of Joe Rogan. So there we go. My bad for y'all that it took that long. Let's go. And I wonder, yeah, y'all should be able to hear it good and everything. Okay, here we go. Let me add you. Okay, let me do this first, and then we're gonna add you there. And it should. Okay.
Hey, Rob. I'm excited. How you doing, brother Rob?
I'm good, sister. How you doing?
I'm good. I've been following you for a long time. Like, I've been fucking with all y'all for a minute. I don't agree with everything that everybody says all the time, but I do before your chat wants to drag me for filth.
I don't know. We gotta hear your perspective.
I just want to say for the record, I don't give two shits because I am a critical thinker. But I do want to say, number one, I do appreciate your platform and what you offer and what you do. I am not RBG, all that. I'm not that. I did have a phase where I went through my own personal evolution, and currently where I sit today, I just sit on the things that make sense to me and what's going on with my personal individuality and my personal journey. But in the conversation with Joe Rogan, I don't believe that everything that Joe Rogan says is like gospel. And I don't believe that everything that Joe Rogan does is the best thing and the most appropriate thing. Just in general for just humanity and Black people in general. What made me come up here and say something is that I watched the video that Arie did, speaking on behalf of how she wanted to take herself down from the platform of Spotify because of Joe Rogan. And I got that was
hold on. Let me clarify.
I'm sorry, you're a little bit. Say that. I'm sorry, start over.
You breaking up a little bit too.
Oh, I'm boring too. Oh, I hate that.
You what?
I said I'm boring. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me explain. Now, she said she talked about Joe Rogan, and what she said was she disagreed with her, the money that she's making Spotify being taken and used to fund Joe Rogan. If that,
I don't necessarily believe that. People pay who the fuck they want to pay. If you look at Netflix paid our brother, the comedian
Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, astrological amounts of money because that's what they felt like he was worth. You know what I'm saying? On the flip side, you can look at our other sister, our heavier set Black sister who was in Precious.
Monique.
They paid her. They didn't pay her what she felt like she was worth. So to go with the whole argument, they're giving this white man more money than they're giving. No, because there are Black men and there are other comedians of different diasporas that get paid according to what they feel like their contribution is based on their talent and how current and how relevant their conversation is in the comedic realm. So I think that's bullshit. I think what it was is that some people got into her ear, and honestly, I don't think it was Black people. I think it was some caves. Because let's not.
Who is the her we're talking about now? You talking about Monique or
we're talking about Arie?
Okay.
I think some caves got into India's ear, because let's not act like Arie is just the most accepted thing on the planet when it comes to the Black diaspora. Because if we know anything about colorism, we know anything about today's society and music and in the music industry, Now, is she a powerhouse? Does she have a beautiful voice? Is she a whole around musician? Nobody can hold a candle to her. Like, she is in her own perspective lane, and ain't nobody fucking with her. And she's beautiful, and she's amazing, and she's dynamic, and she's heavily melanated blessed. But let's not act like this is not Hollywood that she's fucking with. I think that when you see her and you see her in these live performances, you see a lot of, as you would call, the caves, which
They
makes
are.
me laugh my
They
ass
admit it.
off. Huh?
It's the caves. Okay. So,
And
but
you see
okay.
her surrounded by a lot of caves
Let me
in
ask
these
you.
lives. Yeah, go ahead, sweetheart.
No, let me ask you a question. Now, is this you explaining why you support Joe Rogan? Because I'm trying to. I know you saying what you're saying about her,
No,
but
I guess I'm having my own random stream of thought and setup for this conversation. And this is just my way of going about it. But if you want me to get to the meat and potatoes, just tell me you want me to get to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah. No, I want to hear. You said your comment was I support Joe. I want to hear why you support Joe. Why you support this white man?
I support Joe because Joe Rogan is a cave, as what you would call him, that had a platform as a mainstream comedian, because he was a mainstream comedian. And he was doing comedian, stuff around the time of like an Alex Jones, this, that, and the third, or whatever. And he had a major voice. There's a lot of things that Alex Jones said that a lot of people could just written off as conspiracy theory that in 2022, you can check off on a fucking list for it actually being something that actually came to pass. Joe Rogan, I feel like, is somebody that all people that have an independent, free standing platform probably should support. And the reason why I say this is because we are seeing mass censorship as of 2020, as of, the time of the Kukarachi. I'm going to call it the Kukarachi. You know what I mean? Okay. That there's been mass censorship of multiple ways of doing whatever it is that you need to do to get the holistic healing that you need. And when people speak honestly and freely, or they bring people on their platforms that gives you an alternative way of thinking, alternative way of thought, or the way that the masses think, or the everyday working folk thinks, they're trying to get him off. And everybody that's attacking him is either mainstream or already established what's going on in everyday society. They're not being affected by, because they already got their coin, they already got their money, they already got their standing. And I still feel like he's one of those few voices, along with other voices that are non-cave, that are heavily melanated, and cave. I feel like it's just something that people are going out of their way to silence. And he does a lot of different types of streams. And then when Arie mentioned him saying the N-word on his platform, I feel like that was taken out of context. Because, put it like this, regardless of how because people are going to feel how they want to feel about it. People are going to feel like, oh, you shouldn't say this, and you're not this, or you don't have a connection to it. And, guess what? You might have a different feeling than I do, but my thing is this. If Black men or if Black people cared so much about people not saying that word, and they were willing to do something in mass to make people be on guard about it, I just feel like it's selective outrage. But I do feel like he is a part of the free, independent stream of thought, free and independent stream of you saying what you want to say on a platform. And that's something they're trying to silence. And that's the reason why I stand with Joe, because he says what he says unapologetically. Like, you say what you want to say unapologetically. Other people say what they want to say unapologetically. And if these voices get muffled and snatched off of platforms, guess what? You're fucking next. So that's the reason why I stand with Joe in that context. I don't know if I'm making sense, but if not, please.
kind of making sense, but I'm gonna tell you what parts didn't make sense. I guess, did you listen to the part of the show where we talked about this aspect?
No, I literally just came in.
Okay. Well, let me say this.
Literally.
Let me just say this. I talked about that aspect, censorship. I talked about that. And to that end, where I talked about the fact that, well, when you try to silence or, suppress what the cave's talking about, essentially that's going to end up being something that's going to affect Black people, right?
Yeah.
I talked about that. Now, in me saying that, I still wouldn't say I support Joe Rogan, because he don't need my support. He gonna do whatever he want to do. He's not being oppressed. He got a contract with Spotify, and thus he's not independent, as you call him. That's impossible for him to be independent if he got a contract. There's no way we'll have a contract and be independent at the same time. That's impossible. So he's not independent, and him using whatever words he wants, I agree with that aspect, because I don't care what Joe Rogan says. But as a Black man, any Black person standing with him when he don't need, Black people have a tendency to stand up and with caves that he don't need our help. The Spotify already said they stand with him. So why he need you to stand with him? Like, where do you play in?
Have you been following the back and forth and the battle with Joe Rogan, Spotify? It's even gotten to the point where it's even gone to like Biden or whatever. Like, it started with some, irrelevant old heads in the pop industry, and then it just started snowballing. For me, I feel like it's still relevant, and the reason why I stand with this is because, oh, wait a minute, I don't want to lose my train of thought. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me think. Let me go back to what I was. Let me focus.
Why do you feel like he needs you to stand with him? Like,
my thing is not that it's not so much of me standing with Joe Rogan, it's standing with what Joe Rogan defines and what he is as a what he means to free speech. It's not so much Joe as it is free speech. And it's you telling the truth. Because guess what? Joe Rogan had a doctor on his platform that talked about the beginning stages of the heebie-jeebie and what happened at the beginning stages of the heebie-jeebie. And he was this major cardiologist. And these are conversations that, not every Black person is going to be able to have access to these people that's going to talk about when the heebie-jeebies first started or whatever, and what was going on in the hospitals and what was going on with the doctors and what was the treatments and what was the honest truth about what was going on and how they were terrified about it and how they were hiding information and this, that, and the third. So that's the reason why I say that these platforms are still necessary, because they're able to get information that people that are overly, because I'm Black, y'all, and I'm Black, y'all, and I'm blacker than Black because I'm Black, y'all, can't get those conversations, because those are the people that are running this shit. And if they have access to speak to those people that are willing to be honest about the first stages of when the heebie-jeebies hit, I'm just saying everybody has their place. Like how your platform is essential, how other platforms are essential, his platform is essential, and it's all rooted in everybody being able to do free speech. And we can get together and listen to different platforms, whether we agree with them holistically or not. We're able to chew the meat and still spit out the bones and get what we need to think, get what we need to get as critical thinkers. And that's where I'm at. It's the attack on free speech. For me.
Then let me give you a less coon way to say what you're saying. You're saying that you stand against censorship. Like, just say that. I stand against censorship, but I'm not going to say I stand with Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan ain't never stood with me or anybody else Black that I ever heard of. So you listen to his show. I don't. He's never stood with nobody Black. He don't do that. He don't stand against racism, or he don't do any of that. So why then would he need you to stand for him specifically? You can just say I stand.
It's not about me necessarily standing for him, Rob. I don't think it's about me standing for him. I think it's about me just standing for what makes sense and what's logical. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not in a box. I'm not in a pro-Black box. and I'm not in the RBG box. I stand for what fucking makes sense at the end of the day. I stand for what is right at the end of the day. And I don't limit myself to race in that thought process. I'm a little bit more expanded. But am I ignoring and not understanding what the plight?
Wait a minute. You think you're expanded by supporting somebody white? You think that's
no? What I'm saying is, I'm talking about no. I'm not saying somebody white. I'm saying I'm expanded in my thought process because I know how to listen to people and take race out of it and take what is essential and what's not essential. I don't wrap, for me, in my mindset, I don't wrap everything around race. I just personally don't. I don't do it.
Okay, but
now, is there a lot of things that happens that's race related? Absolutely. Do I see that there's more race related things than non-race related things? Absolutely. I see all those things, but at the same time, I'm not saying that I don't see those things. I'm just saying I have more of a holistic view of what the fuck is going on in the world, just like you do, but you encase it a certain kind of way. I don't restrict myself to those limitations. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. That was what you wanted to say?
Yeah, feel free to say whatever you like.
Okay. So as to I understand, and I also am against censorship, that I don't understand when you say you don't encase everything in race. He called black people apes. So even if you don't encase everything in race, he called your black ass an ape. Matter of fact, he said being in Philadelphia he was in the planet of the apes. He was in Africa. So even if you don't encase everything in race, that's what he's encasing. He calling you an ape. Like, how do you say, well, I support the man that calls me an ape because, I stand against censorship? I'd rather you just say, well, I stand against censorship, and let that be that. I think most people do stand against censorship, and particularly when they are censoring black people. I said the same thing when I talked about it. I don't give a fuck what Joe Rogan says. He can say nigger all day. That has nothing to do with me. I stand against censorship, but I don't stand with him in any type of way. He's a white man. He got a contract. Spotify stands with him. Other white people stand with him. He don't need my black support. Black people do. And thus, I'm not going to extend it to a Joe Rogan because he's not about to lose his show. He's not about to lose his show over not nigger. He would have to be on some old, maybe going in on, maybe exposing some other shit, but he's not going to lose it for disrespecting black people. He's not about to lose his platform. Disrespect some Jews like Whoopi did, maybe. But disrespecting black people, he's not going to lose his platform for that. And thus, he don't need my support for that. And thus, I'm not going to say I support Joe Rogan. It doesn't make any sense for me to say that. I mean, you said you don't, you're not restricting yourself to race, but he's a cave. And thus, he don't support me. So why?
And that's fine. And see, this is where you and we respectively go in different directions. And my thing is, for me, and me going in a different direction of where you stand in your mindset does not mean that I don't support you and your ideology and where you stand in your shit, because I still support you. Like, I know how to compartmentalize, and I know how to I be personally, that is just my mind. That's just the way my brain is wired. And I can still support you and I can support Joe. And for me, at the end of the day, if the diaspora cared so much about being called all kinds of things that they don't want to be called by people in the so-called dominant society, right? Then they need to motherfucking do something about it. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this: at the end of the day, if the most dominant in our society, the men or whatever, if they care so much about what Joe was saying and what they were called, it's like, listen, don't talk about it, be about it. These men, listen, there's only a few, I'm gonna be honest enough to tell you who I feel like really, really speak against this type of shit. It's you, it's Taz, it's Brother Moses, or whatever. But there's only a handful of y'all, by and large, that speak against this type of shit. Y'all, outside of y'all, there's not a large conglomerate of Black men that are actually saying, listen, there's repercussions about you coming at us and talking about our people sideways. And my thing is this, if they cared so fucking much, then it should show. So I'm just saying that the fact that the numbers are not there, and he could get away calling people apes, this, that, and the third, and maybe that including the women and the children too. That should be something that should be taken up with the men in the Black community, because he was able to get that off and he don't feel no fucking fear behind it. So whose fault is that for him feeling so fucking comfortable? Is that him, or is that the men, which are supposed to be the leaders in our society, letting him get that shit off and it not being no major repercussions, so much and so where he feels he thinks twice before he says some shit like that on a broad platform? It's like Black men got a lot of shit to fucking work out when it comes to that. And that's between the men, because that's not on the responsibility of the women and the children. That's on the responsibility of the males.
Okay, so when he got on there to apologize by saying those words, he said he should have been saying the N-word instead of just full-blown saying nigger. And he tried to explain, I guess, whatever he was trying to say about the Planet of the Apes thing. And so basically, he's saying that he should have said just the N-word instead of saying nigger, right? So he's trying to so-called hold himself, apologize is what he did. If he felt like you saying he feels like he's just non-censored and he's independent, why the apology then? That doesn't make any sense. Why are you supporting somebody that turned around and apologized? That doesn't, for your claim is that he's for saying whatever he wants, then what was the apology for then? That's what I said the same thing about Whoopi Goldberg. He apologized. Like, what? Why are you supporting? If he was what you saying he is, he about all this saying whatever he want, why is he apologizing then?
My thing is this: I would pose the same argument when it comes down to how when Black women are attacked for their features, Black women will drag the dog shit out of you on all platforms of social media, so much so it will usher in some type of apology of some shape, form, or fashion. It's like the numbers for Black women, when Black women don't feel like they're being treated fairly, when it don't matter if it's male, if it's female, if they're white, if they're Black, if they're polka dot, if they're trans, if they're LGBT, when Black women feel wrong, Black women will get on social media and will drag the hell out of people until it is moved to the point where they have to say something. Where is that same media presence for Black men when they feel like somebody addressed them in that shape, form, and fashion to make him have to backtrack and backpedal and refine his statement with a really genuine apology? It's usually the women that actually attack for men and for women in our diaspora. Where is that overwhelming, over the top situation when it comes to men being dragged at that level by men of the cave persuasion? Like, it's just not there. You know what I'm saying? And whether it does something or not, at least the numbers are there to support that. Okay, listen, you fucked up. You said something wrong. That shit was out of pocket. You need to apologize. This, that, and the third. Like, those numbers are not there when it comes to Black men. And the conversation should really be targeted more toward Black men, not so much Black women in that. So that's all I'm saying. Do I think what you're doing is a great job? I think you're doing amazing. Do I think what he's doing is great? Yes, because he's opening up conversations with people and we're getting access through him that the average person like you or me can't tap into, and we can learn and grow from. We just need to be a generation of people. We can still be pro-blackity black, this, that, and the third, but we need to also learn how to listen to other platforms as well and learn how to chew the meat out the bones.
Wait. Okay. I'm gonna let you go on here so I can. I'll address this and then I'm gonna go on and move on. Appreciate you for coming up.
Okay, sorry if I hope I didn't mean to offend. If I did,
We can't be offended. You're black. I mean, it's not. There's nothing to be offended. You have the same mentality that it's nothing offensive happening here. I'm gonna deal
well,
with
let
it.
me just tell you, thank you for having me up on your platform. Thank you for giving me a voice, and continue to do what you're doing. I respect the work that you do, and I will still continue to support. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye bye.
Okay. So, now let me tell y'all black folks something. Let me tell y'all black folks something. Now, what y'all just heard her explanation and justification for supporting Joe Rogan. We heard a conversation that went from supporting Joe Rogan to black men need to do something about this, or black men need to be the ones who step in and do something about this. In which case, he didn't just call black men niggers. He didn't just call black men apes. In which case, when I talk about black people unifying on a common front, black men and women being together, standing against all forms of systematic racism, what she's showing is the divide that I kind of talk about. It's going to be hard for me to be over here needing the support of black people, and black people giving their support to a cave that don't need their support in any type of way, form, shape, or fashion. I learned everything the information I received about that wrong. We'll call it that for right now. The information I received about that didn't come from Joe Rogan or anybody he had on his show at all. I don't watch his show. I didn't get any information from his show at all in any type of way. So I can't say that I need his show to educate me on what the fuck be going on out here as far as black people are concerned. Now, what happens in these conversations is, like this conversation, we went from, why are we going to support Joe Rogan? I gave a little rebuttal. Then it came, well, black men, it's black men's fault. This is where these conversations always go. Well, it's going to be black men's fault for Joe Rogan calling black people nigger. That's my fault, or our fault as black people. When specifically, when people say niggers, they talking about everybody. So that's something that if it's going to upset people, because again, it didn't upset me. I don't care what he says. I care about us and how we receive information, how we present information, how we read information. Would I ever, and will black people ever need to stand with the caves? No. No way, no how. That's not something that I'm personally interested in at all. Period. Black men and women need to do better together. That's outside of the cave. Like, I don't give a fuck what the caves are doing, what they're talking about. The kids they raising gonna be coming up trying to oppress the kids that I'm raising. Thus, I'm gonna prepare the kids I'm raising to deal with a world like this. That's where black men and women need to come together about, and that's the united front we need to be on. I need black women support, not Joe Rogan. I need black people support, not Joe Rogan. He don't need it. He gonna have the caves standing with him, and if the caves is standing with him, ain't nothing gonna happen to him. And ain't no way in the world that him saying nigger is my fault. Because now the music, and I've heard this argument before, well, if black people stop saying nigger, then everything will be okay. There is nothing but one thing that black people, even the whole white people, and that's if black people do it, is no white, the cave, you can't say nigger. Some black people will say that. And they act like that's a very oppressive thing. Well, y'all say it, so why come we can't say it? Motherfucker, because I said so. It's that simple. This is the one area they get to do everything else. Bestiality, motherfucking murder, sell dope, sell guns, steal areas, enslave. They can do everything. This one thing that black people may tell them they can't do, then it's all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. The one thing that black people don't want them to do, they can't even deal with that. And black people be like, well, y'all say it, so they should say it. No, fuck that. Now, granted, I don't care, but it's based on this perspective, I have to speak this way about it. Fuck that. They can do everything. They've shown they can do anything. I can see you walking through my neighborhood to your daddy house after getting you some Skittles and something to drink. You have a hoodie on. I can murder you and get off. They can do everything. I'm not going to let you do this. I'm not okay with you doing this. And then all of a sudden, well, y'all say it. So, no, fuck that. I disagree with that. And based on me structuring things around race, it's not me doing that. The way she described it was, well, that's how you see things. No, the people who run the world, that's how they see things. I was not born into a world where I could just go out here, be black and free, and that's okay. That's not my fault. I didn't frame shit like this. It was already framed like this when I got here. It's not me turning everything into race. It's everything being about race before I got here. And do not let the, sometimes again, black people get in this mindset. It ain't my fault. Okay? It's not my fault. I was just born a black man. I've said this on another live before. All I did was be born a black man. I didn't do nothing. It was like this when I got here. I didn't make everything about race. I didn't do that. I did no such thing. So therefore, for me to be responsible for white people's racism and what they say in particular, now I can be responsible for how they treat me directly. But what they saying on their podcast, meanwhile, it's owned by other caves that support that, I can't be held accountable for that. That's impossible. That's impossible for me to be held accountable for that. I can only make sure that my kids recognize that as disrespect. Not, well, I stand with Joe Rogan. My kid's not going to stand with Joe Rogan. That's my contribution to the black community. Thank me later. My kid's not going to ever say no shit like that. Well, I've transcended race and I can just look at things. No. My kids ain't going to stand with Joe Rogan. They can stand against censorship, but not stand with Joe Rogan at the same time. He just called you apes. He just called you apes in Philadelphia. He wasn't talking about just no black men. He was calling black people apes. He said it was the planet of the apes. He said he felt like he got dropped off in Africa. Who the fuck, a cave gonna say that and I'm gonna stand with him? No. I can understand the effects of censorship without standing with the caves because black people are censored. So I'm gonna stand with the black people that's being censored. I'd rather do that. Stand with the black people that's being censored. Me that gets censored. The reason my channel isn't monetized, somebody talked about that earlier. I'm going to stand with myself. My people, I'm not standing with Joe Rogan. He don't need me. And he called me an ape. He called our people apes. And for him doing that, that's the black man's fault. Now, understand, y'all, a part of the reason that it's going to be hard for us to get progress out here is because everything is turned into this conversation. What's black man's fault? What's black woman's fault? To me, our children are our fault. Regardless. That's our fault. The way they conduct themselves, the way they view the world, the way they view racism, systematic or otherwise, that's our fault. That's our fault. So that's what I hold us accountable for. I'm not blaming the black man. I'm not going to blame the black woman. I'm going to blame all you niggas because y'all all cooning. And because we can't deal with that as a team, we're going to have this divide all the time. It's happening all over YouTube and happening all over the place. We're going to always have this divide amongst us because the conversation comes down to whose fault is it anyway? And I asked y'all I think it was the stream before last, who's winning the gender war? Who benefits from this shit? Well, black people don't realize that we raising coons. You think I'm raising kids that will stand with Joe Rogan? Are y'all, let me ask y'all, let me just look in the comments. Are y'all raising children that will stand with Joe Rogan? Let me just ask y'all. Is that what's happening? Are y'all raising kids that would stand with Joe Rogan? Because, again, She kind of framed it like this some free black mindset. This is what black people do. They stand with white people all the time. That ain't new. That's not a new idea. That's not some, well, I'm able to look outside the constructs of race. That's what niggas doing. That's not no new mindset. That's what black people do. We teach our kids to do the same shit. And this is where you get these motherfucking coons from. Because while we trying to look at the world outside of race, the caves are focused very much so on race and very much so on who exactly they're going to oppress. We the ones trying to create a world that doesn't exist. Where we can look outside of race. Where you can raise a carefree black kid that can play with a toy gun without being murdered. It's not our fault that this shit is like this. It was like this when we got here. So me having to look at things through the lens of race is not because I want to. It's because that's what it is. I'm not going to stand with Joe Rogan. He said we was apes. He called it a bad joke whenever he apologized for it. How do you then stand with someone who calls you an ape? What does that say about how you thinking? I mean, even outside of race, because he didn't call everybody in the world apes. He said, you niggas is the apes. Philadelphia, the niggas is there, they apes. So he made it about race. I didn't make it about race. He did. You see what I'm saying? And then, exactly, Kiera, I was going there next. And then every time we said, she kept saying, well, I'm not RBG. I'm not blackety black. That's a choice. I don't call myself blackety black. We talked about that too. You can tell she missed a lot of the show, which is, it is what it is. But every time she talked about my type, militant black. Oh, that's that blackety black, even though it's not, because based on online, blackety black is just like we talked about. That's doobie raps, trash bags, dancing. That's not blackety black. It's called militant. Being militant about my blackness. Meaning I stand up for myself and defend my blackness. You don't get to call me an ape and I stand with you. She was calling that blackety black. That should be black culture. That's the culture. Should be the culture. But it's not. It's not. Somebody call you some motherfucking apes. And because I'm not standing with them, then that makes me some blackety black. She's not that. I knew that. I know that most people are not that. Most black people, no. Y'all know we dealing with a 99% coon rate. So I know that. I know not. That ain't real. Most of us are going to find reasons to stand for Joe Rogan. She's not the first person. When I was looking at the comments on the post about this shit, black people were standing with him. That was something I looked at as that's some type of mental disorder. Now, she explained hers. Well, I've transcended to looking at everything in a racial box. I can get information from everywhere. And that's fair. But you don't stand with a motherfucker that calls you an ape. You don't do that. It doesn't make any sense. Although a lot of black people will. You don't do that. But I don't know how she was raised. I know that I can stand against censorship and still say, fuck Joe Rogan. I can do both things. Joe Rogan ain't taught me nothing, ain't opened my eyes on nothing, ain't dropped no knowledge on me or nothing like that. I didn't need him to enlighten me on this vid. I didn't need him for any of that. I didn't get none of my information from him or nobody on this show. I didn't need none of that, you see. But black people, you got to, man, we got to do better. We do. We got to do better. Everything can't become the black woman versus the black man. Now, do I believe that black men most definitely should stand up for our communities a lot better? Absolutely. But niggas can't because they're coons. Yeah. Because they're coons. Because of the very thing I talk about all the time. Coons. Raising coons. And this is how you get grown coons. Black women. They can't do anything because they coons. So until we deal with that coon shit, until we teach our children to break down propaganda and know where to stand. Because you know how in life, when you raising kids, you show them where to stand. This is how you correctly do this. We're not shown where to stand. We think it's some a matter of having free thought. So you're going to go stand with the caves. That's not free thought. That's not you that think. That ain't you. That's what you were trained to be. You were socialized to stand with the caves or to treat them like they need to be rescued when they don't need to be rescued. Stand with me. Like, you don't need to stand with them. They got their team already. Their team is already fully functional, fully operating at a high rate. Spotify standing with him. They said it. You can Google that if you don't believe me. They don't need you to stand with them. We need us to stand with us. Period. As she quoted, there ain't many black men out here that ain't cooning. Not all over, YouTube. Why don't I have 1 million subscribers? You me tell you why? Who can tell me why I don't have 1 million subscribers? Anybody? I know. Who can tell me why, though? Does this type of stuff entertain black people? What do black people like? Celebrity gossip and fuckery. That's what black people like. And if we're going to talk about black women always standing up, tell me who you think the subscribers of most of these celebrity gossip channels are. Who are those people? Who's entertained by celebrity gossip the most? Are you going to be able to get black women's attention by just talking about would-be pro-black stuff? As we make it seem like black women are the wokest motherfuckers amongst black people, we have to be real. No, that's not real. That's not me trying to attack black women or anything like that. I'm telling the mothers of our society that they are entertained by fuckery and gossip constantly. That's coon shit. So the fact that we have to do this versus shit all the time, it bothers me because we all cooning. Niggas watching the NFL and women watching Tasha K. Those are the facts. I asked y'all, we just talked about it the other night. How can we be taken seriously? We don't stand on anything that has anything to do with pride. All we want to know about is celebrities' lives. Keep up with some stats. Have a team. Root for that team. That's what we all doing out here. both black men and women. So when your women are attracted to gossip, your men are attracted to sports, regardless of the racism. Like, who gives a fuck about racism? That's why I said that's not something new, that black people don't care about racism, ain't worried about racism, ain't worried about race. That's common. That's not new. That's not enlightened. We don't care about race as a people. And thus our kids can't, because they're not shown how to care about, how to stand. We're not taught that stuff, man. That's what I be talking about. There's this black men versus black women. All the time. All the time. All the time. When all y'all niggas coons. You don't even get to keep score. You're a coon. How are you taking in the information, NFL or whatever stats, NBA stats or whatever, argue about who the greatest ball player ever made? How you taking this that? Well, what's Cardi B doing today? Or what Beyonce doing this week? Or, whatever the fuck going on with celebrities. All y'all niggas coons. That's why I don't have 1 million subs. If I leaned and pardoned some side of black people, I'd be more popular. If I stopped talking about race altogether, I'd be way popular. I just left that out. I'll just wait for whatever celebrity gossip comes out and I'll come talk about that. Niggas is coons. Niggas be out here cooning. Black men and women alike. The score is 0-0. And if the score is actually worked in a negative, I'll put niggas in a negative. But the score is 0-0. That's the score. We don't understand that, though. We don't get it, though. We don't get it. And I'll be damned if I'm raising a child that's supporting Joe Rogan as a way to stand against censorship. No. No. We're not doing that. We stand against censorship by showing that black people cannot talk about the actual behaviors of the caves, period, and have really huge channels. It doesn't exist. I lost my first channel for bullying white people. I lost the strike I got that deleted my main channel. They said I was bullying white folk because, regardless of what Joe Rogan says, it's some motherfuckers that have features like apes and it ain't us. I just spoke on that. Told the truth. It's not us that look like apes, motherfucker. Mouth having bitch. That's you. That's y'all. That ain't us. That's all I did. And for that, telling that truth, dispelling that lie, putting down that propaganda, the same propaganda that Joe Rogan's bitch ass calling black people apes, I refuted it. They deleted my channel for that. I wasn't even calling them caves then. I didn't call them out their name or nothing. I said white folk. But that was considered bullying and harassment. Meanwhile, she gonna stand with a cave. They can get on there and call black people apes. Stand with him against censorship. I lost my whole fucking channel for telling the truth. He get to keep his for lying. We don't look like apes, black people. Don't let nobody tell you that. You get you a picture of a fucking monkey and you set it up beside one of these caves. You dispel the propaganda immediately. To where now That's not even an insult, really. I'm not insulted by what Joe Rogan said at all. Not insulted by it. But I wouldn't stand with a bitch ass cave that said it. We not the ones that look like apes. They've been telling lies about us for a long motherfucking time. Calling our nose big, lips big. So how the fuck you saying all this about us if everything on us is big? Then how then can you say I look like an ape? They ain't got no mouth and their nose is kind of sunk in. So how is that possible? And I always tell black people, don't even call your lips and nose big. You are the original people, and therefore everybody else shit is small. Okay? That's the type of conversations I have with my kids. Don't even let another motherfucking coon tell you that your lips is big. They don't know no better. Your nose is big. You are the original people, and thus everybody else shit is small. Boy. And this motherfucker get to call you an ape, and y'all gonna go stand up with him. And I saw people doing that shit all in the comments. I stand with Joe Rogan. Black folk, he don't need you. His people make up 340 million people here in this country. He don't need you. He don't need you at all. You're not an ape. In a planet of no apes, wherever you around, that's bullshit. Don't let nobody talk to you like that. I don't give a damn who it is. You don't look like a fucking ape. And don't nobody deserve your support by saying that line. If he's a truth teller, then he would have told the truth. He would have just told the truth. Actually, when I got dropped off in goddamn Beverly Hills, I thought I was in Planet of the Apes. Bitch. Not being around black folk. Not being around black folk. That's not when you in the Planet of the Apes. But black people don't see stuff like this. And thus, you know, lips in front of me, we could do a whole debate on this topic. No, I don't want to debate you. I'm all set. You already, I mean, you think like most black people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not going to debate you. I'm not going to debate you. You can have your perspective. Hopefully at some point you'll see. Hopefully you'll see in the grand scheme that they don't need your support. Like, they don't need it. It's unnecessary. The only people in this nation, in this world that need your support is other black folk. You can be against censorship and still not stand with the caves. I'm against censorship. I'm not saying Joe Rogan should lose his podcast based on what he said. I never said that. And if you go back and listen to what I said about it, you'll see that there's no need for a debate between us. You'll see. I'm just not going to go as far as to stand with Joe Rogan. If he a truth teller, then he would have told the truth. It's white folk, the caves, that look like apes. He would have just told that truth. He'd have just told that truth. If he was into telling the truth, that would have been the truth he told. It's actually us that look like apes. I don't know why they talk about black people like that. He just said something like that. I have no idea why they talk about black people like that when, in fact, we look like apes. It's the caves. It's us white folk. I don't know why they treat black people like that. I think they need to stop. But again, I don't care what Joe Rogan says on his podcast. I don't think he should lose his podcast because I am against censorship. And just like I said, when we start standing up against what they say, the censorship rules will only apply to us. I believe that. And I can believe that without standing with Joe Rogan. I can do that. It's okay. I can pull it off. Boy, I tell you what, man. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting. But anybody in here who understand what I'm saying, y'all put another B123 in the chat. Put another B123 in the chat if I'm making sense. Again, if you're not B123, or as she condescendingly kept saying, blackety black, that's not who we are over here. We B123, and that's black first, second, and third. And over here, we don't stand with caves, and particularly ones that call us apes or describe our areas as planet of the apes. We don't stand with them people. We don't today, and we won't be doing that shit tomorrow. And maybe we did it before when we didn't know no better, but we learning, and we don't stand with them people. We only stand with our own. We only stand with our own. We only stand with our people that's righteous. We don't stand with them. We don't do that. We don't do that. Not over here. That ain't what we do. But she was fair. She said she's not with all that. And that's cool. I wish I didn't have to be with all that either. But it was like this when I got here. And I'd be damned if I'm a coon my way through it. I'm not going to do it. I did it for about 28 years. I was done with it. I'm cool. I'm not going to coon my way through this and just ignore race just because that's what I want to do. No, I can't. I got kids to raise, and I can't teach them to ignore race. I can stand against censorship by just saying that YouTube refuses to monetize this channel. They'll say everything I put out is not advertiser friendly. I don't talk right enough. And I'm not against my people, you know. I can make money by doing that, but I'm not doing that. I should have 1 million subs, but that ain't gonna happen. I ain't worried about that either. That's not me pining for that either. I'm here for the few because they worried about the few. I know they are. We talked about that with reparations. They are worried about the few. And that's who I'm concerned with. Most black people, nope. Nope. The only time they see racism is in this case of Joe Rogan, where he's sitting around calling black people niggers. His bosses support that. His audience supports that. 340 million caves. I promise you, Joe Rogan don't need you. I promise you. The caves that like what he's saying, well, I like black people being called apes and a white man saying nigger freely. They're going to support him. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Okay? I promise you, he'll be fine. Watch. If you don't believe me, just watch, right? Don't believe me, just watch. Watch. He'll be fine. Regardless of what Arie is saying, he'll be fine. Regardless of if no black people supported him, he would still be fine because the mass of his audience is the caves. He'll be fine. And guess what? They still gonna censor your black ass for trying to tell the truth. You tell the truth, you'll still be censored because it hurts white people's feeling. Y'all see what they saying about CRT? I don't want white kids to feel guilty. They worried about their kids. Y'all see that? When black folk gonna start worrying about our kids? I can't wait. They say they don't want their kids to feel guilty. That's why they won't teach actual history. It's not critical race theory. It's actual cave practices, actual cave history. They don't want their kids to feel guilty. That's why they're against CRT. That's Black people's form of free speech. And regardless of what happens with Joe Rogan, they still gonna be against you telling the truth about race in this motherfucking country, no matter what happens with Joe Rogan. Period. Period. That's why they're against CRT. Now imagine you standing up with a cave motherfucker who has not tried to stand in the path where, yeah, you know, this history does need to be taught. CRT should be taught all across the country. He ain't never said that on your behalf. They telling Black folk to shut the fuck up. Remember when they was calling us Black identity extremists? Remember that? Joe Rogan stand against that? No? Okay. So you're going to be censored regardless. Those are the facts. You're going to be censored regardless because you're telling the truth about their diabolical, maniacal, genocidal behavior. And if you do that, you're going to be censored regardless of what they letting everybody else say. You don't get to say that. Those are the facts. And thus, they don't need you to stand with them. But man, we something else, man. We is something else. But that's, I mean, that makes up majority of Black folk. Lips and Fro still talking about debating. I'm really not going to debate you because it'll put me in a tough spot where you'll be defending a cave, and I can't debate Black people. I can't debate black people on that. I really can't. I done had them days. I done had them days where I felt the need to debate Black people. If you feel like that's relevant, then keep going. The only thing I would suggest is that you not act like it's an enlightenment that you've come to is the reason why you can support him, because that's Black people support racism, really institutional racism. Black people support that. Systematic racism, we support it. So that's not you're not up, drifted in some place that Black people trying to ascend to. That's where Black people are already. As you call blackity black does not get Black support. It's not it. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how it works. It's never worked like that historically. If you know your history, no militant type of Black group person, they're not going to have most Black people on their side. That's normal. It's not an exceptional mindset. That's typical of Black people. We always stand against the so-called blackity blacks. Always. They doing too much. They too mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, they make everything about race. Well, it is what it is. Is what it is, y'all. Hopefully, hopefully everybody was able to take something from this show. I might go on later on. There was some relationship shit that somebody had sent me and wanted some advice on, and I may go live about that, especially with so-called Valentine's Day coming up. I may go live about that, but I don't know. I may go live again today, so y'all just stay tuned. But hopefully, everybody understood where I was coming from. as it were, Miss Lips and Froze says she's not B123. So we understand her mindset. We understand where she's coming from. And that's just the state of Black people. And you can only hope that one day Black people decide to, you know, stand with each other. And that way, you know, we can set an example for our children. Hopefully we can do that one day, but hopefully it happens in my lifetime. I really do. But we don't stand with caves. Like we don't do that. We don't stand with them as it is, and damn sure not ones that's calling us the apes. No. That ain't what we do, and that ain't what we teach our kids to do. That's not how we get busy over here. I do want to show appreciation, though. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. Again, I will make an announcement if I do go live. So y'all have y'all notifications turned on. Follow me on Instagram if you're not already. If you want to make any donations or anything, those links will be in the description box. Shout out Team Rob. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Black first, second, and third. I'm out, y'all.